The era of Beast Girls begins with a pact with an SSS-Level School Beauty. Greetings, fellow multiversal adventurers. It's an honor to have you back in this saga that has us all hooked. Official channel statement: this story is 100% epic fiction. So please don't attempt real magic, the results aren't guaranteed and insurance won't cover it. The rights to this masterpiece belong entirely to its brilliant original author. We are just a barge sharing it with you. Do you want to keep being part of this amazing community? Join our ninja army of subscribers on YouTube and give this content a like. And for true fans, our Patreon has exclusive ninjutsu waiting for you. Chapter 126 Xiao Ye, it was me and Xiao Ye who did it. Holy crap. Outdoor sex. The King Kong Barbie rubbed her eyes, incredulous. The skinny monkey's lips twitched, his perception of her had been shattered. His image of the elegant, dignified, and pure goddess-like teaching assistant had collapsed. All the senior and junior sisters stared wide-eyed, stunned. The deputy commander gave an awkward smile, his face flushing red. Afraid of ruining his teacher's good time, he hurriedly pushed the thick bushes back up. Ahem, the sun is really nice today, he said, looking up at the sky. The other disciples, realizing what was happening, also looked up at the sky, echoing, yes, today is perfect for sunbathing, it's so warm and cozy. The King Kong Barbie and the skinny monkey glanced at the sky. The sun was obscured by clouds, no sunshine at all. In the bushes, Xiao Ye and Xiao Ye, lost in their passionate kissing and doing nothing else, were suddenly disturbed and awakened. Xiao Ye scratched his head and said, teaching assistant, it seems we've been discovered. Xiao Ye licked her red lips, still wanting more, glared at him with her beautiful eyes, her pretty face flushed, and said coquettishly, it's all your fault. My students saw our kiss. My image as a goddess teacher is going to be ruined. HMPH. Xiao Ye, you have to compensate me. In the eyes of these disciples, I'm already a horny old cow who likes to have sex with young girls. Xiao Ye smiled bitterly and said, then what should I do? How are you going to compensate me? A few glints of cunning flashed in Xiao Ye's beautiful eyes. She suddenly grabbed his head with both hands and took the initiative to kiss him. Xiao Ye felt his jaw being broken. He responded passively, and within 3 seconds, he was at a disadvantage, his mouth dry. He kicked his legs wildly, trying to break free, but he was firmly held. 10 minutes later, the two separated. Xiao Ye glared at her and said angrily, teaching assistant, you've always liked young girls. Everyone just realized your true colors now, there's no compensation. Xiao Ye chuckled, raising her chin smugly, so what if I did? I won this time. Xiao Ye's face darkened. Outside, the disciples were calmly waiting for the wind to blow, so Xiao Ye simply pulled Xiao Ye out and said generously, oh, what a coincidence, we actually met everyone here. The deputy chief, afraid that the teacher would scold him for lifting the bushes, broke out in a cold sweat and took the initiative to comfort him. Yes, teacher, did you just arrive? We're here investigating the strange things about the cult. Xiao Ye chimed in, that's right. Xiao Ye and I were just fighting a monster. After we won, we saw you here and came to check on you. Fighting a monster, and winning. What a brilliant excuse. Senior sister Golden Barbie and senior brother Skinny Monkey exchanged a glance, seeing the shock in each other's eyes. The deputy commander broke out in a cold sweat and quickly changed the subject, saying, teacher, 3 very strange things happened at our combat base today. I suspect a cult is behind it. Teacher, did you notice anything unusual at the combat base today? Although his cultivation level was only a 10th star grade venerable, Xiao Ye's authority as a teacher was deeply ingrained in everyone's minds, so he felt fear and tension when a student disrupted his teacher's plans. Strange things? A cult? The deputy commander didn't elaborate, and Xiao Ye assumed a cult had invaded the combat base. After a moment's thought, she shook her head, nothing unusual. I didn't see any cult members. The deputy commander frowned, his expression becoming even more grave. He said in a deep voice, even the teacher didn't see him. This person must be a supreme. This is troublesome. The group of fellow disciples fell silent. Matters at the supreme level were beyond their control. Even a low-level supreme could wipe them all out with a wave of their hand. The 3 vice presidents exchanged glances, understanding perfectly, and said, we can only ask the Supreme One to intervene. The goddess-like teaching assistant, Xiao Ye, wholeheartedly agreed, then you should consult the dean. It's best not to directly participate in matters at the Supreme One level. With that, The vice president opened his contact list, found the contact information for Yun Bing, the vice dean of the Kunpeng Supreme Academy, and began dialing. Of the 10 academies in the Magic City, there were 3 supreme ones. Why would he request a vice dean of the Kunpeng Academy instead of the dean of the Titan Academy? Because he was Liu Ye's disciple, a graduate of the Kunpeng Academy over 100 years ago. When consulting a supreme one, he would naturally consult the one he was more familiar with. Although he had met the supreme dean of the Titan Academy and had his contact information, they weren't close. At this moment, the prodigies of the Demon Dragon Academy strode in. The other 2 vice presidents stopped them, asking what they wanted. The captain of the Demon Dragon Academy's prodigies said, on the verge of tears, "Greetings, Vice Commander. We were on our way to attack the soft-boned rabbit monster horde, but our water-type magic turtle loot mysteriously disappeared. It was a wasted trip, we didn't get any points." The other Demon Dragon Academy prodigies chimed in indignantly, "That's right. We planned that battle for a month, spending countless crystal cores on mental enhancement potions and disposable mental attack equipment. And what did we get? We returned empty-handed." Upon learning of the situation, the vice commander made a promise, saying in a deep voice, "Students, don't be angry. Our combat training base will give you all justice. That cultist who caused this trouble will definitely be caught and given the highest and most severe punishment. Everyone, please return to the academy. These next few days are not suitable for combat training." With the assurance of a 10-star Grand Venerable, the Demon Dragon Academy prodigies became excited. In their eyes, with the vice commander's intervention, the culprit would surely be brought to justice. The captain of the Demon Dragon prodigies laughed. "Vice Commander, you said you'd give us justice, so what about the points we earned from defeating the water-type demon turtle?" His meaning was clear, he wanted the points they hadn't yet redeemed after killing the demon turtle. The vice commander shook his head. "Redeeming points requires demon beast certificates. You lost your demon turtle certificates, so naturally you can't redeem them." He waved his hand. "Alright, go back and wait for news." The captain of the Demon Dragon prodigies, dejected, led the Demon Dragon prodigies away. Xiao Ye and Liu Ye, who had been watching all this, exchanged a glance, both seeing surprise in each other's eyes. A bizarre cult? That must be referring to the looting incident, right? Good heavens, Xiao Ye had become a cult member. The vice commander, who was dialing Vice Dean Yun Bing's number, pressed the call button several times, only to hear a not in service message. He had no choice but to dial the rarely seen Dean Yun Zai's number. As the vice commander, it was normal for him to have the dean's contact information. Beep beep beep. A few seconds later, the call connected. "What's up?" A cool, clear, and pleasant voice came from the other end. The deputy chief's spirits lifted, and he hurriedly explained the situation, finally pleading, "Please, Dean, come forward and catch that guy." "No time." The other end refused outright. The call ended with a beep beep beep, and the deputy chief's face darkened. Facing everyone's gaze, he awkwardly scratched his head and said, Dean said he's busy." The other 2 deputy chiefs looked troubled upon hearing this, frowning and saying, "Then what should we do? Are we just like headless flies trying to catch him? We won't be able to catch him anyway. Should we ask the Supreme Dean of Titan Academy?" Ahem. Liu coughed deliberately, attracting everyone's attention. "I understand now. Actually, there's a misunderstanding. Those mysteriously vanished spoils were stolen by Xiao Ye and me." Xiao Ye's lips twitched, and he readily admitted, "That's right, we did it." The 3 deputy chiefs were shocked. The assembled fellow disciples were utterly astonished. Chapter 127 Deputy Chief of Staff, quick, grab the spoils. To investigate this matter, they mobilized a large team, but ultimately found nothing. The whole affair, which had caused such a stir, turned out to be the work of their teacher and Xiao Ye. What a joke. The deputy headmaster asked incredulously, "Teacher, are you sure the mysterious disappearance of the magical beast was done by you and Mr. Xiao?" Liu Ye nodded firmly, "Yes." "All right." After a long pause, the 3 deputy heads accepted the truth. The methods they couldn't comprehend were probably only possible for Liu Ye at the Great Supreme Realm. But everyone looked at Liu Ye with surprise, wondering if stealing a student's spoils was a breach of boundaries. The events of the past few days had shattered their impression of Liu Ye. Was this still the principled, elegant, and dignified goddess teaching assistant? Liu blushed under the strange looks and turned her head away. The vice commander who had previously disrupted the teacher's plans spoke up to smooth things over. The teacher should be the assistant, wasn't it Mr. Xiao who snatched the student's spoils? Mr. Xiao is a student of Kunpeng Academy. It's perfectly normal for students to snatch spoils from each other. Everyone, please calm down. Xiao Ye laughed loudly. That's right, it was my idea, and I was personally involved throughout. Everyone listened with smiles. Whether they believe him or not was only known to themselves. However, a teacher is still a teacher. No matter what he did, he was still their respected teacher. With the matter resolved, the vice commander called his fellow disciples back to the main camp. One of the vice commanders was stopped by Xiao Ye and kept behind. Xiao Ye tallied his gains in the system space. There were a total of 30 supreme type, 438 creation type, 80 wood type, 115 metal type, 182 fire type, 60 water type, 38 earth type, 5 dark type, and 1 ice type. He was still 20 supreme type crystals short of meeting the upgrade template requirements. Deputy Chief, could you tell me which area has the most King Beast bloodline magical beasts? Xiao Ye asked. The Deputy Chief was certainly more familiar with the layout of the combat base than Liu Yan. The chubby Deputy Chief was embarrassed. Mr. Xiao, just call me Junior Deputy. As for King Beast bloodlines, he pondered for a moment. It's the groups with many direct descendants of King Beasts, like the Red Fire Demon Ents, Azure Water Demon Frogs, and Soft Bone Rabbit magical beasts. These groups all have a relatively large number of King Beast offspring. Liu Yan, Junior Deputy, lead the way, let's go. And so, the chubby Deputy Chief led the way, with Liu Yan and Xiao Ye following. After traversing a magical beast forest, the three arrived at a place not far away, beyond a cluster of huge mounds. These 20-meter-high mounds, filled with cave entrances, were teeming with giant red fire demon ants, each half a person's height, patrolling, over 100 in total. Boom boom boom. A series of explosions rang out, and the huge mound suddenly exploded, shattering into pieces. The three looked up and saw more than a dozen pterosaurs, eagles, sharp-beaked birds, and little rock-summoned beasts flying horizontally in midair. These summoned beasts were attacking the red flame demon ant swarm. Liu Ye and Xiao Ye exchanged a glance and leaped into a hidden patch of grass. The fat vice commander stood in place and explained, "These are the summoned beasts of the Pterosaur Academy students. They're probably trying to take down the red flame demon ant swarm. The average level of the red flame demon ant swarm is 1-star Grandmaster. The level isn't high, but the total number is over 1,000, making it one of the most difficult demon swarms to conquer." Huh? The fat vice commander asked in surprise, "Where are you guys?" The flying summoned beasts of the Pterosaur Academy were putting in a lot of effort to attack the demon swarm. As one after another, the bright red demon ants surged out, energy bombs were dropped from the sky, blasting them into disarray. One energy bomb could seriously injure more than 10 demon ants, but the sheer number of demon ants was overwhelming. Wave after wave of demon ants emerged from the mound. The pterosaur-like summoned beasts used every trick in the book. Energy bombs, water, smoke, and spicy smoke bombs. They used all their innate skills and equipment. Finally, after several tens of minutes, they achieved victory. The mound was surrounded by heavily injured or suffocating red fire ants. Even the queen ant couldn't withstand the fumes from the spicy smoke bombs and climbed onto the mound, panting heavily. Ha ha ha. As expected of the spicy smoke bombs I bought with a mid-grade Grandmaster Crystal Core, the effect is outstanding. Tisk. Only you would be willing to use Grandmaster-level equipment to attack a group of Grandmaster-level magical beasts. There's someone on the ground who looks familiar. The flying summoned beasts flapping their wings in the sky landed and transformed back into their human forms. Greetings, Vice Commander. Good afternoon, Vice Commander. They greeted each other one by one. The chubby Deputy Commander nodded and smiled. Yes, you guys continue your strategy, don't worry about me. Next, these prodigy contractor students began looting the spoils, Grandmaster Crystal Cores and monster tokens for exchanging points. The Deputy Commander stood with his hands behind his back, exuding the air of a great figure. At this moment, he secretly transmitted his voice to Xiao Ye and Liu Yan. Mr. Xiao, teacher, the time to grab the spoils has come. Do you need me to help? Liu replied, no need, Xiao Ye alone can handle it. The chubby Deputy Commander was astonished. Mr. Xiao alone? What a joke. Only the teacher could perform that kind of mysterious disappearance. The Deputy Commander was completely disbelieving. At this moment, Xiao Ye made his move, activating the rule fragment crystal extraction function of the template adjuster. A vast, profound, and supreme power descended. Everyone present was still unable to perceive this power. They only saw the dying red fire demon ants suddenly become ferocious, kicking their limbs wildly and biting their teeth, falling into violent struggle and convulsions. In a split second, a putrid aura emanated from their bodies, rapidly decaying and turning into dust that scattered around them. The Winged Dragon Academy's prodigies, who were harvesting their spoils, all found nothing. Their hands had turned to dust. They were all dumbfounded, stunned for a moment. The vice commander, having witnessed the bizarre disappearance of the magical beast bodies, had a complex expression: shock, a frown, and a bitter smile. 3 parts shock, 3 parts confusion, 3 parts bitterness, and 1 part bewilderment. He hadn't sensed a trace of his teacher, Liu Ya's, intervention. He hadn't even detected a slight energy fluctuation. He hadn't sensed who had done it. This shocked him and puzzled him greatly. Before he gave a bitter smile, could it really be Mr. Xiao who intervened? Mr. Xiao was no ordinary person. Perhaps this was why his teacher had taken a liking to Mr. Xiao and formed a contract with him. Damn it, turn to dust, is this a joke? What happened? Who's messing around? The winged dragon prodigies cursed and swore. Ahem. The deputy commander spoke up. Everyone, please calm down. His voice echoed around. Cult thieves, please retreat immediately and leave the premises of my academy, or my Magic City Academy will surely kill you. A cult in the making? The pterosaur prodigies felt a chill run down their spines and hurriedly moved closer to the fat deputy commander. Deputy commander, are you saying that what happened just now was done by cult members? The deputy commander nodded. Yes, there have been 4 incidents today. I came here to arrest someone. Unfortunately, that guy's concealment skills are superb. I couldn't find any trace of his activities. As he spoke, his old face flushed red. He was the one who brought Xiao Ye and the other 2 here to steal the spoils, not to catch thieves at all. Chapter 128 Huge Harvest, Crystals Complete. To be precise, this thief was brought here by the very deputy commander. He was also an accomplice of the thief. The Winged Dragon Academy's prodigies' pupils shrank, and they exclaimed in shock. 4 or 5 incidents? That's terrifying. That wicked cultivator who has committed countless evil deeds might be plotting some calamity that harms the country and its people. Deputy Commander, you must bring him to justice. Yes, this time it was the Crimson Flame Demon Ants that disappeared, next time it might be us. As they spoke, they pleaded with the Deputy Commander with fear on their faces. The Deputy Commander stood with his hands behind his back, exuding an aura of righteous indignation, and said firmly, "Rest assured, everyone, protecting the Magic Capital Academy is my duty as the Deputy Commander of the Guards. That wicked cultivator hiding his face, we will definitely bring him to justice." The Winged Dragon Academy's prodigies felt much safer, and their eyes practically sparkled as they looked at him. Their innocent hearts were touched, and they all stood up straight, saying, "The Deputy Chief is truly a role model for us all. Yes, we should also follow the Deputy Chief's example, punishing evil and upholding justice." PFFT. Leah, hidden in the grass, almost burst out laughing, her beautiful eyes crinkling into crescent moons with her joyful laughter. Xiao Ye was greatly shocked by the deputy chief's words. When it comes to showing off, it has to be the little deputy. The template adjuster's successful extraction information appeared in his mind. Grandmaster Red Fire Demon Ant, successfully extracted 500 creation type rule fragment crystals. Grandmaster Red Fire Demon Ant, successfully extracted 500 fire-type rule fragment crystals. Grandmaster Red Fire Demon Ant King Beast, successfully extracted 50 supreme-type crystals. Grandmaster Red Fire Demon Ant King Beast, successfully extracted 30 fire-type rule fragment crystals. Holy crap! Duo Xiao, 500 creation type, 530 fire-type, and 50 supreme-type crystals. A sudden surprise struck, and Xiao Ye's eyes widened in astonishment. He had extracted 50 Supreme-class crystals in one go, a terrifying quantity. Previously, he already possessed 30 Supreme-class, 438 Creation-class, 80 Wood-type, 115 Metal-type, 182 Fire-type, 60 Water-type, 38 Earth-type, 5 Dark-type, and 1 Ice-type. With this latest extraction, his total was 80 Supreme-class, 938 Creation-class, 712 Fire-type, 115 metal type, 80 wood type, 60 water type, 38 earth type, 5 dark type, and 1 ice type. The upgrade requirements for the SSS Level 5 Claw Golden Dragon template were 10 metal type, 10 wood type, 10 fire type, 10 earth type, 10 water type, 50 creation class, and 50 supreme class. He had collected them all. Not far away, the deputy chief, seeing that he had said enough, began to conclude, "Alright, these next few days are not suitable for actual combat training. You should all return to the Winged Dragon Academy. As for me, I must begin my mission to capture evil cultivators." The 20-odd contract-wielding students, understanding the situation, thanked him profusely. "We at the Winged Dragon Academy thank you in advance, Deputy Chief. Yes, when you visit the Winged Dragon Academy, we will certainly treat you to a grand feast. Goodbye, Deputy Chief." After expressing their gratitude, they left. Watching these Winged Dragon students turn back every few steps, and seeing their admiring gazes, the Deputy Chief blushed. After the students had gone, Liu Ye and Xiao Ye emerged from the bushes. "The great hero Deputy Chief, who punishes evil and upholds justice, you are truly impressive," Liu teased. "Oh." The Deputy Chief awkwardly scratched the back of his head. "Teacher, please don't laugh at me. I was just doing this for your husband." Xiao Ye laughed. "Little deputy, you did a good job." Receiving praise, the fat Deputy Chief puffed out his chest and said enthusiastically, "Mr. Xiao, it's still early. Shall we go to the next place?" Xiao Ye, who had already collected all the crystals, didn't really want to go, but seeing his enthusiasm, he couldn't refuse and hesitated. "Where?" The Deputy Chief's eyes lit up, and he said excitedly, "The Azure Water Demon Frog Clan, whose number of offspring with the royal beast bloodline is no less than that of the Crimson Fire Demon Ants. I remember that the genius students of the Spirit Plant Academy were attacking this demon beast clan today, and they're almost done with it now. Let's go now and seize the opportunity to fight. Ahem, to uphold justice." He quickly changed his words, but when he said the word seize, the excitement on his face was clearly revealed. "Xiao Ye, standing up for justice? I think you're just addicted to showing off. The goddess teaching assistant wouldn't be." Xiao Ye looked at Liu Ye, who was also quite excited, saying, "Xiao Ye, the Azure Water Demon Frog is great. Let's go." Xiao Ye's lips twitched. "Teaching assistant sister, how about we go back? It's not right to keep stealing other people's loot. We should be good citizens and do less things against our conscience." This guy had clearly had enough of stealing and was now lecturing others. Liu Yan, however, didn't seem to care. She curled her pink lips and muttered, "What do you mean by against my will? How many times has our Kunpeng prodigy been robbed before?" "Almost every week." The vice commander nodded in agreement. "That's true. The other 8 academies don't dare to steal the spoils of the #1 ranked Titan prodigy. They've set their sights on the Kunpeng prodigy. They even take pride in stealing the Kunpeng prodigy's spoils, and after stealing a lot, they brag about it on the official website and forums. So, as the strongest prodigy of Kunpeng Academy, it's nothing for Mr. Xiao to steal a few spoils. It's a give and take. You steal mine, I steal yours. Mr. Xiao doesn't need to feel guilty." The vice commander sighed. "Mr. Xiao is still too kind. He hasn't experienced the cruelty of the apocalypse. What's a few spoils to him?" Liu sighed. "Alice, Xiao Ye, since you don't want to go against your conscience, we can't force you. Let's go back now." The vice chief also comforted him. "Yes, Mr. Xiao, don't be upset. Let's head back. I also need to go and entertain my fellow disciples." But Xiao Ye heard that the Kunpeng students were being targeted by the other 9 academies and had their spoils stolen every week. A surge of anger rose within him. He said, "How dare you? We Kunpeng prodigies are not to be bullied. Let's go, let's fight for spoils. No, let's uphold justice." With that, he led the way forward. Crystals, treasures that even supreme beings coveted, were more than enough for him. These treasures had many uses, not limited to upgrading templates, so the more crystals, the better. Vice Chief Liu Yang. This sudden change in attitude left them stunned. Liu chuckled, covering her mouth, and quickly followed, saying, "Little deputy, keep up." The chubby deputy chief's face broke into a bright smile. "All right. Let's go uphold justice." Both of them had a strong sense of belonging to Kunpeng Academy, And to vent their anger, they were happy to steal the spoils of other academies' prodigies. In one of the 1,000 changed lakes, the Demon Frog Lake, the prodigies of the Spirit Plant Academy, ranked 4th among the 10 academies of the Magic City Academy, were fighting against the Azure Water Demon Frog Beast horde in the lake in their summoned beast forms. Ice-type white snakes, Ice-type snow lotus beasts, Ice-type fairy beasts, and so on, froze the entire lake. The Azure Water Demon Frog horde lost its advantageous battlefield, and its combat power was greatly reduced. The Demon Frog side was almost at the point of running out of ammunition and supplies. Suddenly, a chubby man appeared in mid-air above the lake, his hands behind his back, watching everything. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 129 Harvest complete, time to level up. Upon reaching the Venerable Realm, summoned beasts can unleash their own power of intent to condense into a domain, covering several kilometers around. This domain power can mobilize the energy of heaven and earth. Human form inherits some attributes from the summoned beast, and its released power of intent is also sufficient to condense into a scaled-down domain, allowing it to freely mobilize the energy of heaven and earth. Therefore, unlike the Grandmaster Realm, the Venerable Realm allows for flight. At this moment, the Vice Commander hovered in mid-air, having a complete view of the battle below. The summoned beasts of the Spirit Plant Academy below, seeing the powerful figures watching from above, intensified their attack. A series of ice-type talent skills erupted. The temperature in this space dropped to -40 or 50 degrees Celsius. Countless Azure Water Demon Frogs froze, their limbs stiff, encased in the lake. Soon, they achieved victory, and it was time to reap the spoils. Seeing this, the Deputy Commander praised, "Very good, skillfully using attribute advantages to defeat the Azure Water Demon Frog." Fighting the Azure Water Demon Frog in its advantageous environment, first disrupting its advantage, freezing the lake into ice, transforming it into your own advantageous environment. The tacit cooperation between you achieves harmony between heaven, earth, and man. It's hard to lose. His voice wasn't loud, but it resonated in the ears of all the summoned beasts below. The summoned beasts cheered upon hearing this. Their long-researched fighting style had gained the approval of a powerful figure. This was something to be happy about. "Thank you for the praise, Vice Commander." "Vice Commander, that's the top-tier Grand Venerable Expert. If only you could give us some pointers." A summoned beast shouted, "Greetings, Vice Commander. Our fighting style is still quite immature and hasn't reached mastery. Could you please give us some pointers?" The Vice Commander smiled faintly and said, "No need for pointers. You have to walk your own path." The summoned beasts below looked regretful. If a Grand Venerable Expert could give them some pointers, it might save them several years of detours. Then a voice continued from above, "What I'm about to say can serve as a reference. Forge your own path. To achieve the best results with your fighting style, it must be based on elemental advantage. The Azure Water Frogs are water-type magical beasts. Your strategy is insufficient. They are magical beasts that survive in normal temperatures. Utilize the low-temperature environment to gather the Azure Water Frogs together, then freeze a small portion of the lake. This will greatly reduce energy loss. Reduce your own energy output to achieve maximum damage." He secretly transmitted his voice to Xiao Ye. "Mr. Xiao, now is the time to act." Xiao Ye realized he had been somewhat engrossed in his assistant's explanation. The insights of a Grand Venerable were quite interesting. He activated the template adjuster extraction function. The summoned beasts on the frozen lake listened intently to the Grand Venerable's guidance. As for the Azure Water Frogs frozen stiff beneath the ice, they weren't in a hurry to reap the spoils. They weren't going to disappear into thin air. Boom! A vast and profound supreme power descended, enveloping the entire lake of frogs. Hundreds of frozen demonic frogs widened their eyes, their stiff limbs flailing wildly. Their bodies festering and decaying, turning into dust. Grandmaster level Azure Water Demonic Frog successfully extracted 300 creation type rule fragment crystals. Grandmaster level Azure Water Demonic Frog successfully extracted 250 water type rule fragment crystals. Grandmaster level Demonic Frog King Beast successfully extracted 30 supreme type crystals. Grandmaster level Demonic Frog King Beast successfully extracted 10 water type crystals. Above the lake, Looking at the azure water demonic frogs turning to dust below, a smile appeared deep in the deputy chief's eyes, but his face was stern, and he shouted sharply, "You evil cultivator! You dare to cause trouble under my nose again!" Boom! A massive aura erupted from him, his gaze constantly scanning the surroundings, as if searching for something. The 20-odd summoned beast prodigies on the ice were dumbfounded. What was going on? Suddenly, one of the summoned beasts exclaimed, "My God, the azure water frogs have all vanished." The other summoned beasts, upon hearing this, hurriedly scanned the area beneath the ice. Oh dear! The countless azure water frogs frozen in the frozen lake had all disappeared. They were stunned. In just a few short minutes, where had nearly 1,000 dying azure water frog bodies gone? Wait! The deputy commander said that evil cultivators are causing trouble? Could it be that a powerful evil cultivator is toying with us? A powerful evil cultivator? A grand venerable realm cultivator? Hiss! Even though they weren't afraid of the cold, they now felt a chill run down their spines. The deputy commander's voice came from above. "Everyone, don't panic. That evil cultivator is good at hiding. He's caused 4 or 5 incidents today, but with me here, he only dares to make small moves and won't dare to hurt anyone in front of me. Everyone, please return to the academy first. The combat training base will be under lockdown for the next few days." Upon hearing this, the summoned beast's eyes immediately lit up with gratitude. They said, "So that's why a big shot like the deputy commander has time to instruct us. It's just a side job, his mission is to capture the evil cultivator. Thank you, Deputy Commander. We'll return to the academy now. Thank you for your hard work, Deputy Commander." They quickly left. Xiao Ye and Liu Ye emerged from the bushes, and the chubby deputy chief landed beside them, smugly saying, "Teacher, Mr. Xiao, my acting talent isn't bad, is it?" Liu Ye raised an eyebrow, disdainfully saying, "You absolutely mustn't spread this around, or you'll embarrass me. Especially in front of my fellow disciples. Don't tell them I taught you such cunning tricks. I, Liu Ye, can't bear that kind of embarrassment." The deputy chief's face darkened. He did all this for her husband, and now she's criticizing him. Xiao Ye, PFFT. Assistant sister, don't criticize the deputy chief anymore. Don't forget what we gained. Liu Ye's beautiful eyes lit up upon hearing this, saying, "Got it?" Xiao Ye nodded. The deputy chief didn't understand what the two were talking about, so he prepared to leave. "Teacher, Mr. Xiao, I still have to entertain my fellow disciples. How about we call it a day and grab the spoils later?" After Liu Ye agreed, he flew away. Xiao Ye, meanwhile, rubbed the goddess-like assistant's soft waist, and returned to number 001, Lakeview Villa District. In the underground training room, the two summoned beasts, the 5-clawed golden dragon and the 2-tailed white fox, continued their uninterrupted cultivation. Their cultivation levels were nearing the 2nd star of the Grandmaster realm, about to break through. Liu examined them, her face filled with astonishment and disbelief. The speed has increased several times over, and the foundation is so solid. "How did they do that?" she exclaimed, completely baffled. Xiao Ye's lips curled into a smile. This was nothing. Once the 5-clawed golden dragon's template was upgraded, he'd see what rocket-like upgrade speed truly meant. Then, breaking through the goddess assistant's passive defense would be just around the corner. Template adjuster template upgrade function, activated. Chapter 130 King Beast Domination, Control of the 5 Elements. SSS Rank 5 Clawed Golden Dragon Template, upgradable, upgrade requirements. 10 metal, 10 wood, 10 water, 10 fire, 10 earth, 50 creation type, 50 supreme type upgraded to, mythical rank 5 Clawed Golden Dragon Supreme Template, consume corresponding rule fragment crystals for upgrade. Wait a minute. Xiao Ye wasn't sure if upgrading the template would cause a huge celestial phenomenon, so he needed to remind Liu Ye. When he awakened his SSS rank Beast Master, the celestial phenomenon was enormous, with purple ki rising 30,000 miles eastward and countless phantoms of divine beasts reflected in the sky. Teaching assistant, wait a bit before you're surprised. Our current cultivation speed is still very slow, Xiao Ye said. Liu Ye's lips twitched, speechless. Xiao Ye, the golden dragon's cultivation speed is already 20 times that of an ordinary SSS level template summon beast, more than 4 times faster than before. From what I've observed, the golden dragon has gained an extra toe, and its horns are longer and larger. You should be content, don't be overly ambitious. This cultivation speed would shock even top-tier supreme beings. Xiao Ye shrugged, unconcerned. The golden dragon was only in its third form. After upgrading, it would become a mythical 5-claw golden dragon supreme template, above the complete form. The third form was nothing. Seeing his indifference, Liu Ya stomped her foot in anger. Xiao Ye cut to the chase. Teaching assistant, the golden dragon will upgrade again later, which might cause a celestial phenomenon. Please make arrangements to avoid interference from onlookers. Liu frowned. Upgrade again? She seemed to have overheard some incredible secret. That's right, the purpose of collecting rule fragment crystals is also this. Xiao Ye looked at the 4-clawed golden dragon immersed in cultivation and felt it was time to let it shine with its most brilliant light. Protect us. Upgrade. Xiao Ye directly activated the template upgrade function of the template adjuster. In a flash, Xiao Ye's human form disappeared, and his consciousness returned to the golden dragon's mind. At the same time, 150 different types of rule fragment crystals required for the upgrade in the system space appeared in the underground cultivation room, floating in midair, shimmering with rich rule power, and constantly rotating around the golden dragon. Liu opened her red lips wide in surprise, forming an O shape, and exclaimed in shock, "This guy actually has so many rule fragment crystals, 10, 20, 50, 100, 150, hiss." She gasped. Realizing the seriousness of the matter, Liu carried the bewildered two-tailed white fox out of the basement and into the air outside the villa. Don't underestimate these tiny crystal fragments. Each one, smaller than the palm of your hand, contains enough power to raise the entire Magic City Academy in an instant. Whoosh, 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 150 crystal fragments of various types burst forth with their own unique power, connecting yet repelling each other. A mysterious power continuously emanated from the origin-level treasure template adjuster, coiling around each crystal. Boom. First, 50 crystal fragments representing the 5 elements, metal, wood, water, fire, earth, were absorbed into the golden dragon's body. Nangguangxiao's consciousness panicked, asking, "What's wrong? What happened?" "The golden dragon is undergoing a template upgrade, it'll be fine," Xiao Ye's voice rang out, calming her down. Different phenomena manifested on the golden dragon's body. For a moment, the golden dragon was a vibrant green, like the purest water in the world. Then, its entire body turned crimson. After the crimson, streaks of shimmering gold appeared, metal, wood, water, fire, earth. After the purest manifestation of the 5 elemental powers, Nangguangxiao and Xiao Ye entered a state of enlightenment. 5 elements mastery. The 5 elemental energies around them became actively gathering towards the golden dragon. Then, 50 creation-type crystals trembled violently, and in a flash, they all entered the golden dragon's body. Guided by the mysterious power of the template adjuster, the creation-type crystals and the 5 elemental crystals completely fused. Finally, the supreme-type crystals, within their power of rules, showed signs of space fracturing, and time itself lost its trace, becoming empty. The 50 supreme-type crystals entered the golden dragon's body. Roar. The golden dragon's majestic vertical pupils widened suddenly, and it roared involuntarily. This dragon roar seemed to pierce through space, resounding throughout the globe, attracting countless eyes. Boom. The supreme-type crystals gradually fused. The golden dragon's life level directly sublimated, and insight surfaced in its mind. Supreme, the ruler of the world. Controlling all royal beast bloodlines. Upgrade successful. Mythical 5-claw golden dragon supreme template. Realm, mortal tier 1, talent skills, supreme dragon might, the ultimate version of holy golden dragon might. After displaying its pressure, it weakens the enemy's attributes by 50%, transforming into a royal beast overlord, commanding all royal beast bloodlines. New, 5 elements control. As the name suggests, it controls the 5 elements, metal, wood, water, fire, and earth. New, absolute damage reduction, reduces damage from any attack by 50%, including physical attacks, mental attacks, magical attacks, law attacks, stellar explosion attacks, cosmic origin level attacks, etc. Invincible golden body. The already powerful dragon body increases attack power and defense power tenfold after skill activation. True shield. After activation, it possesses a true shield with 10 times its own life force. All insights return to itself. The golden dragon body suddenly increased 100-fold, and with a bang, The villa exploded, and a golden divine dragon soared into the sky. Rabbit eyes, deer antlers, ox mouth, camel head, tiger paws, eagle claws, fish scales, and snake body. Its entire body shimmered with the golden light, its scales sparkling. On its 4 long, narrow feet were 5 claws, a true 5-clawed golden dragon. Roar. A dragon's roar, filled with oppressive power, resounded throughout the entire academy. With a thud, Xiao Ye and the 2-tailed white fox, who were in midair, fell to the ground, collapsing in horror. Puff puff puff. Throughout the academy, students and teachers alike felt the oppressive power emanating from heaven and earth, their legs giving way and they knelt on the ground. Within the combat base, all the magical beasts in the magical beast forest felt the supreme pressure emanating from their bloodlines, trembling with fear. Those magical beasts possessing the bloodline of a king beast felt it even more clearly and deeply. Their bodies went limp, unable to move, as if the slightest movement would cause their king beast bloodline to collapse and be annihilated. In the dean's villa, young Xie, who was taking a bath, suddenly trembled, dropping the soap from her hand. She was shocked, thinking, this is the pressure of a saint realm, above the supreme realm? No, it's the pressure of an emperor realm. How is this possible? Young Xie lightly leaped out of the bathtub, not even bothering to put on her clothes. She paced back and forth in the living room on the 2nd floor, deep in thought. Above the supreme realm is the saint realm, and above the saint realm is the emperor realm. Impossible, an emperor realm has never appeared on Blue Star. Even saint realm beings live in seclusion, appearing only once every 1,000 years. Young Xie was completely baffled. She sensed the source of the dragon's roar and exclaimed in astonishment, "It's from Xiao Ye's residence." As always, she simply put on a bulky white robe, and then, as if teleporting, arrived above Xiao Ye's villa. Seeing the enormous golden eastern dragon roaming the sky, young Xie was stunned. Chapter 131 Goddess Dean, 1,000 times more talented. This golden dragon from the east was enormous and incredibly long. Its massive head could swallow a person whole, its eyes shone like 2 small suns, and its body was a staggering over 1,000 meters long. As it roamed the sky, even the 5 elements seemed to rejoice. Is this an emperor realm cultivator? Young Xie's cold, beautiful face showed surprise. The site that once belonged to Xiao Ye was now a ruin, the villa walls and earthen walls crumbling and scattered around, leaving only a deep crater in the center. She carefully sensed the 5-clawed golden dragon and exclaimed in astonishment, only a 1st-tier cultivator? A 1st-tier mortal realm cultivator? Below the Grandmaster level was the mortal realm. This puzzled young Xie greatly. How could a 1st-tier mortal realm magical beast exude a pressure even stronger than that of a saint realm cultivator? Standing here as a top-tier supreme being, looking at the 5-clawed golden dragon, she felt utterly insignificant. It was as if a person of a lower life level had encountered a person of a higher life level. After careful thought, Xiao Ye suddenly understood. She understood why she felt so insignificant before the 5-clawed golden dragon, and why she felt its pressure, which was even stronger than that of a saint realm expert. It was because the 5-clawed golden dragon's life level was very high. Just like a person, even before a deity, without the deity displaying its aura or realm, would unconsciously feel their own insignificance. Your presence as a guest at my Kunpeng Academy is most welcome, but what is your intention in damaging our facilities and disturbing our students and teachers? Yunzai said coldly, her icy voice exploding like a bomb in the 5-clawed golden dragon's ears. The 5-clawed golden dragon was startled by the sudden voice, and then saw a cold, beautiful woman standing above Liu Yan, staring at it with icy eyes. It's Dean Yunzai. Nangguang Xiao panicked, her voice trembling. Xiao Ye, we've made too much of a commotion, angered the iceberg Dean, what should we do? Dean Yunzai and Vice Dean Yunbing looked exactly alike, both being peerless beauties. But young Xie was a complete ice queen, like an emotionless machine. If you angered her, you'd suffer the consequences. Xiao Ye comforted her, it's alright, I'm here. The 5-clawed golden dragon roamed the sky, soaring towards young Xie. Below, Liu Yan's heart skipped a beat, and she hurriedly said, Dean, this 5-clawed golden dragon is a summoned beast of one of our academy's students, not an invasive wild magical beast. Do you know Xiao Ye? The top scorer in last year's college entrance exam, the 5-clawed golden dragon is his summoned beast. Yunzai's cold face froze, and she asked in astonishment, Xiao Ye? Liu was delighted, that's right, Xiao Ye was recruited into Kunpeng Academy by the vice dean, you know him? At this moment, the 5-claw golden dragon arrived in front of Yunzai, and Yunzai's beautiful eyes fixed on it. "You're Xiao Ye?" The 5-claw golden dragon nodded its enormous head. "That's right. Xiao and I were cultivating when the golden dragon unknowingly mutated, its size increasing 100-fold, and its cultivation level dropping to the first rank." Hearing this, Yunzai frowned, very puzzled. A mutation occurred without warning during cultivation? After the mutation, its life level was sublimated, transcending the concept of an ordinary life form. She had never heard of such a thing. Sublimation of life level usually involves a major breakthrough in cultivation, thus leading to an advancement in life level. There's no such thing as cultivation that can elevate one's life level. It's like an ordinary person eating a meal or taking a dump and suddenly becoming a millionaire. Young Xie, though a little curious, had no interest in figuring it out. So, after giving a brief instruction, she left. "Xiao Ye, come to my villa sometime. I need to talk to you about something." Xiao Ye was completely bewildered. He had just given her a massage a few days ago. Surely she wasn't asking him to give her a massage? Liu Yan, holding the two-tailed white fox, floated in the air before the 10-meter-long head of the 5-claw golden dragon, her pure, beautiful eyes filled with astonishment as she observed it. Long, slender whiskers, eyes larger than lanterns, and ferocious horns longer than her long legs. Especially that dragon's mouth, it was terrifyingly large. "Tisk-tisk, that mouth could swallow Bingzai whole," Liu Ye exclaimed in amazement. The two-tailed white fox grumbled, "This mouth can not only swallow me, but it can also swallow Sister Liu Ye in one gulp." Xiao Ye's face darkened, and he said, "You still have the mind to joke at a time like this? Our villa is blown up, where will we live?" Liu didn't care and pointed to the distance. "We'll live in villa number 10. The 5-claw golden dragon spewed 2 flames from its nostrils and said speechlessly, "That Syrian primitive-style villa number 10? Is that even fit for humans?" Liu pouted, "It's good enough that we have a place to live. Besides, the second and third floors are decorated in a normal style. We didn't force you to live on the first floor." After saying that, she rolled her eyes and said, "Xiao Ye, Xiao, how are you feeling now? Did you fail to upgrade? Your realm didn't rise but fell, it fell to the lowest, mortal realm level 1. In the 5-claw golden dragon's mind, Nangguang Xiao belatedly exclaimed, "Oh dear, how did my realm drop to level 1? That's terrible. I worked so hard to upgrade to Grandmaster, and now I'm still at level 1, just like when I first awakened my template. Xiao Ye, we're going to have to level up again. My life is so miserable." Nangguang Xiao wailed pitifully. Xiao Ye was speechless. "Young Mrs. Nangguang, please calm down. Template level advancement is simply the awakening of a new template. There's no need to panic." He controlled the 5-claw golden dragon's body to shrink to only 2 meters long. Then, Liu Ye led the 5-claw golden dragon and the two-tailed white fox to her villa number 10, where she had lived for over 100 years. The underground cultivation room. Liu rolled her eyes several times, her tone reproachful. "Xiao Ye, it seems you failed to upgrade. Don't obsess over cultivation speed in the future. It's fine to start over this time. With your previous aptitude, you wouldn't have needed more than 2 months to reach Grandmaster level." Xiao Ye, controlling the 5-claw golden dragon, said speechlessly, "How about we make a bet? If you successfully upgrade, the teaching assistant will grant me one request unconditionally, and vice versa." Liu Ye's lips curled into a smile, and she patted her ample chest, saying, "No problem. If you win, I'll do anything you ask. Let me lie on top, I definitely won't lie on the bottom." Xiao Ye nodded, then took out over 300 vials of energy liquid from his system space, which he had collected before the villa exploded. With a snap, the over 300 vials of energy liquid were thrown directly into the 5-claw golden dragon's gaping maw, the bottle being bitten and swallowed along with the energy liquid. Liu Ye's beautiful eyes widened, and she said anxiously, "Are you crazy? Swallowing so much energy liquid at once will cause you to explode and die." The two-tailed white fox beside her tensed up upon hearing this, and said in a sweet voice, "Quick, Xiao Ye, speed it out. Awakening a SSS level template requires 10 rule fragment crystals, while a mythical level template requires not only 10 rule fragment crystals for an SSS level template, but also the absorption and fusion of 150 rule fragment crystals." Therefore, Xiao Ye wasn't worried at all. The mythical level 5-claw golden dragon supreme template aptitude was at least 1,000 times that of the SSS Level 5 Claw Golden Dragon template. With a boom, an immense amount of energy erupted within the 5-Claw Golden Dragon's body. The 5-Claw Golden Dragon felt as if it had been parched for a long time, its whole body feeling refreshed. Chapter 132 Breakthrough to the Limit, Returning to the Grandmaster Realm. Countless cells within the Golden Dragon's body were like whirlpools, desperately drawing in the surging energy within. Consequently, the energy surrounding the Golden Dragon was also violently drawn towards it. Seeing the situation spiraling out of control and becoming increasingly serious, the two-tailed white fox's heart was in her throat. Her clenched hands were sweating, and her eyes were fixed on the Golden Dragon, fearing something terrible might happen. Liu stamped her feet anxiously, her small face full of worry. She blamed herself, saying, "Liu Yan, it's all your fault. As a teaching assistant, why are you so playful? Why did you make that bet? Don't even mention unconditionally agreeing to one thing, even 100 things wouldn't be a problem." After blaming herself, she whispered in the Golden Dragon's ear, "Xiao Ye, you must survive. From now on, whatever you ask me to do, I'll do. If you tell me to lie on top, I'll lie on top. If you tell me to lie on the bottom, I'll lie on the bottom. You don't like soup, you like meat. I can break that membrane myself, and then you can eat meat every day. You must survive. Please." The two-tailed white fox was too nervous to hear. In the Golden Dragon's mind, Xiao Ye was immersed in the ultimate cultivation enlightenment. He vaguely heard something incredible, but couldn't make out what it was. Something about eating meat and breaking a membrane himself? Boom. The Golden Dragon instinctively absorbed energy. Xiao Ye and Xie activated their demonic beast cultivation method, converting the energy into their own. The 5-Claw Golden Dragon's cultivation level began to rise steadily. Almost every 5 seconds, its level advanced by a small rank. First rank, second rank, third rank, fourth rank, fifth rank, sixth rank, seventh rank, eighth rank, ninth rank, 10th rank. The sounds of breakthroughs, boom 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 boom, rang out continuously. Within a minute, the Golden Dragon's cultivation level had advanced from the first rank to the 10th rank, reaching the threshold of the Grandmaster Realm. The two-tailed white fox was astonished, exclaiming, This is a breakthrough. Sister Liu Yan, if I break through before my body explodes and I die, will I not explode and die?" she asked, tilting her head with a dazed expression. This. Liu was caught off guard, her voice filled with panic. Even a 10th-tier Golden Dragon can't withstand such a massive amount of energy. Over 300, nearly 400 vials of energy liquid are enough to upgrade 2 SSS level summoned beasts to the Supreme Realm. A 10th-tier Golden Dragon will still explode and die. She panicked even more. Xiao Ye and Xiao are probably just barely holding on. They could explode at any moment. Xiao Ye and Xiao were completely immersed in the thrill of cultivation, oblivious to her words. They seemed to have unlocked their full potential, their cultivation and comprehension flowing smoothly without any hindrance. The unabsorbed energy within the Golden Dragon's body remained immense and surging. Externally, it was still being drawn in by the surrounding chaotic energy. But a domineering and supreme power of intent continuously emerged from the Golden Dragon's slender body, from a wisp to a strand, to a surge. The difference between the mortal realm and the Grandmaster realm lies in the presence or absence of this power of intent. 5 minutes later, with a resounding boom, the Golden Dragon's realm naturally broke through from the 10th rank to the Grandmaster realm. Its aura of intent visibly enveloped its body. The two-tailed white fox stared blankly, uttering a bewildered breakthrough to the Grandmaster realm. Liu Yan's red lips parted in surprise, a glimmer of hope rising in her heart. But she immediately shook her head, saying, "Even the Grandmaster realm won't be enough. It can't withstand the immense energy required to cultivate to the venerable realm." The two-tailed white fox pressed its hands to its chest, its eyes resolute. "No, I believe Xiao Ye and Xiao will succeed." Liu remained silent. Based on her knowledge and experience, the Golden Dragon was still at risk of exploding. However, she seemed to have overlooked one fact. Wasn't the Golden Dragon's breakthrough speed a bit heaven-defying? With another boom, in just 10 minutes, the Golden Dragon's realm broke through from Grandmaster Level 1 to Grandmaster Level 2. Its aura of intent continuously grew stronger. The supreme power of the intent was domineering and supreme, inspiring an urge to kneel in submission. As time passed, The chaotic energy within a 10-kilometer radius of Villa number 10 surged towards it, causing a sensation among the students and teachers. The chaotic energy within the cultivation room of Villa number 10 almost solidified, becoming visible to the naked eye. But this immense and violent energy, under the domineering power of the supreme intent, became subdued, contained within the golden dragon, and gradually absorbed in an orderly manner. Almost every 10 minutes, the concentration of intent power on the golden dragon's surface increased by a level. Simultaneously, every 10 minutes, a breakthrough sound would resound. 2-star Grandmaster, 3-star Grandmaster, 4-star Grandmaster, 5-star Grandmaster, 6-star Grandmaster. Breakthroughs occurred almost without any barriers or obstacles, from low-level Grandmaster to mid-level Grandmaster, and then to high-level Grandmaster. The sounds of breakthroughs echoed continuously. 7-star Grandmaster, 8-star Grandmaster, 9-star Grandmaster, 10-star Grandmaster. In just 2 hours, the Golden Dragon's cultivation level broke through from 1-star Grandmaster to 10-star Grandmaster. The power of intent emanating from the 5-claw Golden Dragon's body was so dense it was almost tangible. The free-floating energy in the underground training room was suppressed by the domineering power of intent, unable to move. The two-tailed white fox touched the power of intent with her finger, and with a thud, she knelt down, feeling an urge to grovel. She cried out in panic, "Ah! Sister Leah, save me!" Liu Yan, as expected of a great venerable, forcibly suppressed the urge to kneel and pulled the two-tailed white fox away a little. "It's about to break through to Great Grandmaster," the two-tailed white fox exclaimed in shock. Leah was astonished. Perhaps the golden dragon won't explode and die, and can suppress the enormous energy within its body, continuing to break through? Her gaze swept around the massive free energy drawn from the outside into the underground cultivation chamber, and she exclaimed in shock, "Even this energy, after being refined and absorbed, is enough to give birth to a Grandmaster." The two-tailed white fox's face lit up with joy. "That's great. The golden dragon won't explode and die." Leah blushed, remembering what she had just said. Ah! How embarrassing. What would she do if Xiao Ye asked her about it after calming the energy within his body? The two-tailed white fox looked at Liu Ye's awkward, red expression and asked, "Sister Leah, do you want the golden dragon to explode and die?" Liu Ye exclaimed in surprise, "Of course not. But, oh dear." She stamped her foot in frustration, too embarrassed to speak. The two-tailed white fox stared at her blankly. But what? The Grandmaster Realm and the Great Grandmaster Realm weren't fundamentally different, both were condensations of intent power. An hour later, the supreme and domineering power of the 5-claw Golden Dragon's attribute had solidified, swirling endlessly around its body. This level of power was a grade higher than its previous Grandmaster level. Naturally, the 5-claw Golden Dragon's realm broke through to the Grandmaster realm with a resounding boom. The Golden Dragon had returned to its pre-upgrade level, Grandmaster 1-star. But at this moment, the 5-claw Golden Dragon showed no sign of stopping its breakthrough, and even more powerful aura emanated from its body, indicating its continued momentum towards rapid advancement. Chapter 133 Strange Phenomenon. Yangtze pays attention. The power of intent has many uses. In human form, it can be used to block energy attacks and can be released as armor. In summoned beast form, it can be attached to the surface of innate skill attacks to prevent their effectiveness from being weakened. It can weaken the enemy's innate skills, thus reducing damage. It is a very useful support ability. The power of intent is born from the summoned beast's own innate skills, so each summoned beast's power of intent is different. The power of intent of the 5-claw Golden Dragon is a supreme attribute power of intent comprehended and understood from its innate skill, Supreme Dragon Might. This power of intent is characterized by its domineering, supreme, and all-encompassing nature. Faced with the supreme attribute power of intent of a Grandmaster, the SSS-level summoned beast Two-Tailed White Fox, who was only a Grandmaster 1-star, felt an even stronger urge to kneel and grovel. "Wow, such domineering power of intent," she exclaimed in a daze. Leah supported her with all her might, and the Two-Tailed White Fox could barely stand still. As the goddess's teaching assistant, Liu Ye was also shocked. Only her high cultivation level allowed her to resist such arrogant and domineering power. But if Xiao Ye reached the Venerable Realm, or even the Great Venerable Realm like her, she probably wouldn't be able to resist kneeling in submission. Suddenly, Liu Ye felt a pang of fear. She worried that if Xiao Ye's cultivation level increased, wouldn't she be completely at his mercy? Moreover, she had just said so many embarrassing things, Xiao Ye could probably manipulate her without any qualms. At this moment, the two no longer believed that the five-claw golden dragon would explode and die. Will the golden dragon keep breaking through? What realm will it break through to? Cheng Bingxi asked curiously. The golden dragon was still continuously growing stronger. But as the five-claw golden dragon's cultivation level increased, the suction force emanating from its body became even more terrifying. It was as if a force of rules was driving the golden dragon, drawing all the free energy of the five elements and the free energy without attributes within a 10-kilometer radius of the Kunpeng Academy, causing them to surge towards Villa number 10. This rare loss of energy attracted the attention of many students and teachers. Free energy is energy in the air that isn't contained by the crystal nucleus. Even if the bottle of energy liquid is opened, it will be vaporized and pulled away by the traction force. Immediately, many intrigued students and teachers headed towards the three-character lake scenic area. Some looked excited, some looked dejected, and some looked as if facing a formidable enemy. A supreme treasure must have been born. Such a large energy surge must mean a supreme treasure has been born. Damn, my energy liquid was swept away when I opened the container, so that supreme treasure is mine. You wish. My energy was swept away too. Whoever sees it gets a share. Just sell the treasure and split the crystal cores. The students' discussions made the teachers who came to watch both laugh and cry. They said, the birth of a supreme treasure always brings bloodshed. Everyone, be careful. This is Kunpeng Academy, with two supreme beings in charge. Who dares to act recklessly? At this moment, the two, King Kong Barbie and Skinny Monkey, who were mixed in with the crowd, looked solemn. They exchanged a glance and saw the worry in each other's eyes. They sensed that the center of the energy surge was Villa number 10. Villa number 10 was the address of their teacher, Liu Yang. So, the two took out their communication books and issued an order, ordering more than 50 pairs of contracted fellow disciples to immediately set off to provide assistance. Boom, boom, boom. The more than 50 pairs of contracted fellow disciples who received the order quickly arrived. The students and teachers of Kunpeng Academy were mostly below the venerable realm and couldn't fly, so these 50-odd pairs of contracted disciples arrived above Villa number 10 first. Villa number 10 was like an energy vortex, containing immense free energy. The disciples were shocked. They nodded to each other, exchanged glances, and each stood guard around Villa number 10, on the ground, in mid-air, and high above, protecting it like sentinels. Students who jumped over the wall to enter the three-character lake scenic area were stopped. The teachers who originally lived in the three-character lake scenic villa area were also blocked. No one could approach within 20 meters of Villa number 10. Get out of here immediately. This is our teacher's territory. Anyone who dares to approach will be killed. The Skinny Monkey and the Muscular Barbie, both great venerables of the 10th star, released powerful auras and shouted. Why? The treasure is unclaimed. Everyone has a chance to fight for it. That's right, this is clearly a newly born treasure of heaven and earth. Everyone who sees it gets a share. Some students shouted in dissatisfaction. Some teachers chimed in, such a rare phenomenon. Let everyone observe and learn about the birth of this treasure. Yes, just looking, not going in. They clearly didn't want to leave, and even wanted to break through the defenses to enter the villa. King Kong Barbie and Skinny Monkey exchanged a glance and smiled, saying, Junior brothers and sisters, watch out. Not even a mouse, let alone a human, will be allowed into the villa. Intruders will be killed without mercy. The disciples, forming a tight, all-encompassing formation, released their powerful auras. Boom, boom, boom. They all shouted fiercely, intruders will be killed without mercy. The fierce and powerful shouts pierced through the air, resounding throughout the heavens and earth. Shocked by that powerful aura, the students and teachers watching froze, their eyes filled with fear. They're all venerables, great venerables. My God. Over 100, so many. Holy crap, even the 3 highest-ranking officers and deputy commanders guarding the combat base are here. Hiss, there are at least 30 great venerables here, and quite a few top-tier great venerables too. They gasped, no longer daring to talk about sharing the treasures equally. Everyone unconsciously took a few steps back, wanting to stay away. Even the few venerable-level teachers and great venerable-level professors who arrived later had solemn expressions and dared not approach. Suddenly, a chilling female voice filled the air, melodious yet sending shivers down one's spine. All the students, teachers, professors, and over 50 pairs of contracted fellow disciples looked towards the horizon. A beautiful figure appeared there, her face icy, her voice cold. "What are you all doing here? Are you all bored? Get back to where you were." It was Kunpeng Supreme Din Yongxi. Her authority was immense. The students, teachers, and professors who had been watching felt a chill run down their spines, and some reluctantly left. Even the dean had intervened. They had no chance of getting a share of the treasure. With their superiors advising them to leave, the teachers and professors dared not linger, turning back every few steps with reluctance. After a while, the scene quieted down, leaving only a group of fellow disciples, all of whom were Liu Ya's students. Dean Yongxi calmly said, "Everyone, please go back now." The King Kong Barbie clasped her hands and smiled. "Dean, please rest assured, we won't cause trouble. We'll leave once the energy surge phenomenon disappears and our teacher and Mr. Xiao are safely out." The stunningly beautiful woman, Yongxi, dressed in a bulky white robe, pursed her lips. Since nothing was likely to happen, she let them guard Liu Ya. However, she frowned, her usually indifferent face showing doubt, and asked, "Mr. Xiao? Your junior brother, Xiao Ye?" The muscular woman, whose biceps looked like they were about to explode, replied, "Mr. Xiao has formed a contract with our teacher, Liu Yan, and they've become a new pair of contractors. He's no longer our junior brother, he's our teacher's husband." Upon hearing this, Yongxi's usually cold and expressionless face showed a rare look of shock. "Are you serious?" she asked incredulously. The skinny man clasped his hands in a fist salute. "Of course." Yongxi's face darkened. "You, Xiao Ye, not long ago you made Yunbing's heart flutter, and now, just a few days later, you've formed a contract with the most beautiful teaching assistant, Liu Ya?" Chapter 134 Rule Level Treasure, Infinite Purification. When Yunbing returns, I wonder what she'll think. Falling for a promiscuous man, casually flirting with women. Skinny Monkey found Yunzai's reaction strange. Why was the usually cold and emotionless teen suddenly shocked and angry? "Leave after the strange phenomenon subsides," Yunzai said before leaving. The three deputy commanders, sweating profusely, breathed a sigh of relief, fearing reprimand from the Supreme Dean for not staying at the combat base to guard the magical beasts. Not long ago, they had called for help, saying a cult had invaded the combat base. Villa number 10, Underground Training Room. More than an hour had passed, and the five-clawed golden dragon's realm had broken through again, advancing to Grandmaster Level 2. Almost every hour, it could break through a small level. The two-tailed white fox returned to human form, transforming into the long-legged beauty Chengbingxi. At this moment, Liu Yan and Chengbingxi were hugging each other, leaning against the wall, asleep. A golden light emanated from the five-clawed golden dragon, which descended to the ground and transformed into its human form, Xiao Ye. With a cultivation companion Angguang Xiao by his side, Xiao Ye didn't need to constantly remain in the golden dragon's mind and his consciousness form. As the five-clawed golden dragon grew stronger, his body strengthened in tandem. Looking at the dense, chaotic, and free-floating energy in the underground cultivation room, Xiao Ye couldn't help but laugh. The total amount of this energy wasn't huge, but it wasn't small either. It was probably only enough to create a Grandmaster, less than a bottle of low-grade Grandmaster energy liquid. His current realm was Grandmaster Level 2, so this energy was negligible to him. Glancing around, he saw the two women embracing and sleeping, and Xiao Ye smiled. Chengbingxi's head was resting on the giant, terrifying pillow of his goddess teaching assistant. Liu was fast asleep, perhaps dreaming of some delicious food. Crystal clear water droplets trickled from the corners of her rosy lips. Due to gravity, the water droplets flowed down her white chin and dripped onto Chengbingxi's lips. Xiao Ye took a fluffy quilt from the first-floor bedroom and covered the two women with it. But a slight movement unexpectedly woke the two women from their deep sleep. Opening her blurry eyes, Chengbingxi's face lit up with surprise. She jumped up and pounced on Xiao Ye, exclaiming joyfully, "You're all right. That's great. I was so worried. I thought you guys were going to explode." She clung to Xiao Ye, who held her like a drum. "Sorry for making you worry. It's good that you're all right." Chengbingxi looked at that very familiar handsome face, feeling that he had become even more attractive, and involuntarily leaned in to kiss him. Xiao Ye's eyes widened. "Chengbingxi, you haven't wiped the water droplets from the corner of your mouth yet." Xiao Ye wanted to remind her, but it was too late. She had already forcefully kissed him. Liu watched this scene, her feelings a little complicated. She was happy that he was alright, but also a little sad, like she had eaten lemon juice. She was sour. But she knew that Xiao Ye didn't belong to her alone. She didn't know if it was her imagination, but she felt that Xiao Ye had become even more attractive at this moment. After finishing, Xiao Ye put Cheng Bingxi down and raised an eyebrow, asking, "Teaching assistant. The Golden Dragon template has been successfully upgraded. Did you promise me something?" "Promised what?" Liu suppressed her complicated emotions, a blush rising on her delicate face. She felt a primal urge to let him have his way. She fidgeted, stammering, "I'll do what I promised." Xiao Ye held up one finger, excitedly saying, "I'll unconditionally promise you one thing. I haven't thought about it yet, I'll tell you when I do." Liu was surprised, but secretly delighted. "Just one thing?" Xiao Ye nodded. Seeing that he didn't mention it, Liu Ye was very happy. However, Xiao Ye asked, puzzled, "You seem to say you'd eat meat every day. What do you mean? I didn't hear you clearly." Liu shook her head, her gaze darting away. "You misheard." Not dwelling on that, Xiao Ye looked at the energy surge caused by the cultivation and felt the commotion was too great. So he had the system block the pulling force emanating from the five-claw golden dragon. The total energy drawn in was less than a bottle of low-grade Grandmaster energy liquid. They took out the Zuan Huang gem, a rule-level gem, and absorbed the chaotic and mixed energy in the underground cultivation room. Then, a miraculous scene unfolded. A ball of pure energy liquid emerged from the Zuan Huang gem, hovering above it. The three of them immediately recognized it as a pure energy liquid. Liu covered her mouth in surprise. "What kind of treasure is this? It can purify energy, and so quickly?" Pure energy liquid on the market takes at least a month to be successfully purified from the crystal core, going through hundreds of complex and mature processes. But this treasure was done almost instantly. Xiao Ye was astonished. He had only taken it out to try it out, but the effect was unexpectedly amazing. He then took out a low-grade Grand Venerable crystal core from his pocket and tried to have the rule-level treasure, the Zuan Huang gem, absorb it. In a flash, the scene changed. The low-grade Grand Venerable crystal core was swallowed by the Zuan Huang gem, and a minute later, a ball of energy liquid containing immense energy jumped out of the Zuan Huang gem and hovered in mid-air. Liu Ye's mouth gaped open in surprise, forming an O shape, her beautiful eyes wide with astonishment. Cheng Bingxi's face was blank as she exclaimed, "This is too powerful." Xiao Ye was also somewhat surprised. This Zuan Huang gem was a system reward obtained after completing a task. Initially, it was used to absorb and calm the raging, over-limited energy of Nangguang Xiao's SSS-Level 5 Claw Golden Dragon, and to absorb the violent Taoist energy during the massage. He never expected it could be used in this way. Zuan Huang gem absorbs and calms chaotic, over-limited energy and Taoist energy. It can be used to extract pure energy liquid in the future. At this moment, the five-claw golden dragon can advance to a minor stage of the Grandmaster realm in about an hour. The more than 300 vials of energy liquid it had previously consumed could not support much of the five-claw golden dragon's cultivation. Whether it could allow the five-claw golden dragon to cultivate to the supreme realm was still unknown. If crystal cores were used for cultivation, the cultivation speed would obviously be reduced by a large margin, at least 10 times. Now that pure energy liquid could be extracted infinitely quickly, Nangguang Xiao could continue to act as a cultivation maiden, continuously and infinitely improving her cultivation level. Xiao Ye patted his pocket. Inside, on the crystal core savings card, were 200 great venerable realm crystal cores. With so many crystal cores, what level could the five-claw golden dragon cultivate to with the pure energy liquid extracted from them? Xiao Ye hadn't exploded and died, the cultivation anomaly had disappeared, and the impure energy had been purified. Liu then went out to meet the disciples who had acted as guards. "Thank you all for your protection. I, Liu Yan, am truly grateful." The fellow disciples expressed their gratitude without hesitation. Their teacher was in trouble, and they were there to help. Golden Barbie put her arm around Liu Ya's shoulder, asking curiously, "Teacher, that treasure caused such a commotion, it must be extraordinary. Did you successfully subdue it?" "A treasure, subdued?" Liu suddenly realized that these people had mistaken a cultivation anomaly for the birth of a treasure. "It's a secret, I can't tell," she smiled mysteriously. Golden Barbie didn't press further. After a few words, she returned to the main camp of the combat base with her fellow disciples. Chapter 135: A Private Conversation with Dean Iceberg. Back in the living room on the first floor, Cheng Bingxi approached Liu Ye and said mysteriously, "Sister Liu, don't you think Xiao Ye seems even more attractive?" Liu Ye looked up and observed Xiao Ye, who was squatting on a stone chair drinking tea. He was still as handsome as before, with a chiseled face, a high nose bridge, and bright, spirited eyes. Looking at him, Liu Ye felt an urge to fawn over him. Hiss! She gasped, surprised. It really is. But why? Could it be that his human form's spiritual power subtly influences others? Seeing the two women staring at him mysteriously at the doorway, Xiao Ye, still on the stone chair, called out, "Hey, you two, have you looked enough?" Cheng Bingxi looked bewildered. Not enough. Liu Ye's words were startling. He really is more attractive now. I not only look, I want to touch him. Sometime later, having escaped the clutches of the two madwomen, Xiao Ye fled to Villa Number 1 in the lakeside scenic area, the villa where Dean Yangxi resided. Knock knock. A graceful figure appeared in the courtyard after a gentle knock on the wooden door. She was completely enveloped in a bulky white robe, but her delicate, exquisitely beautiful, cold face and her long, flowing black hair accentuated her reputation as an ice queen. "Come in." Yangxi's tone was icy. "Sister Yangxi, did you need to see me?" Xiao Ye calmly followed her inside. Xiao Ye knew that Dean Yangxi was only wearing a white robe, she had nothing underneath. In the living room, a stack of needle-leaf fruits exuding a powerful aura sat on the table. These were needle-leaf fruits that took 100 years to flower, 100 years to bear fruit, and 100 years to mature, a type of spiritual plant of the great venerable realm. Xiao Ye glanced at them. Having spent time in the library, information about this fruit automatically surfaced in his mind. Yangxi's face was icy, her eyes filled with coldness. At this moment, her impression of Xiao Ye was that of a promiscuous, unfaithful, womanizing, and philandering man with no boundaries. Xiao Ye felt uncomfortable under her icy gaze and subconsciously picked up the only upside-down water glass on the table, poured himself a drink, and drank. Huh? Why does this water glass smell so nice? Hearing this, Yangxi frowned, her voice icy. "You lecher. This is my water glass." Xiao Ye froze. "Sorry, the glass was upside down, I thought it had been washed. No wonder it smells so good." Yangxi's impression of Xiao Ye worsened. If she didn't need Xiao Ye to massage her, she would have already hung him up, given him a good beating, and kicked him out. So impulsive. She couldn't understand how Yunbing could have fallen for such a person. Yangxi thought with contempt. "Ahem, sorry." Xiao Ye scratched his head awkwardly and asked, "May I ask what Sister Yangxi wants from me?" He felt looked down upon. The disdain in Dean Bing's eyes was undisguised. "HMPH." Yangxi snorted coldly and said, "It's your freedom to form a contract with Assistant Liu Ye, and I have no right to interfere, but..." "Xiao Ye, please keep your distance from Yunbing in the future." Originally, Yangxi came to him to test his feelings for Yunbing and then try to match them up, fulfilling Yunbing's wishes. But after learning that he had formed a contract with the most beautiful Assistant Liu Ye, Yangxi felt that she couldn't match them up. Not only could she not match them up, but she also had to stop it. At the rate Xiao Ye was forming contracts, who knows how many more beast girls he would form contracts with in the future. Yunbing wouldn't let him off easy then. Xiao Ye was dumbfounded. "Why do you say that? I don't understand. Did I form a contract with Liu Ye? He and Yunbing had nothing going on. Why was he being forced to keep his distance from Yunbing for no reason? Wasn't this forcibly teaching him how to do things? Why did Xiao Ye need anyone to teach him how to act?" "HMPH." Yangxi snorted coldly. "There's no reason why, but you should try not to have any contact with Yunbing in the future. This is for your own good, and for Yunbing's good too." Xiao Ye felt annoyed and muttered, "Dean, please don't forget that it's Yunbing's physical defect that she needs me. And so do you." Yangxi's words caught in her throat. She turned her face away and said with a coquettish snort, "Just give us both a massage every now and then, and we'll pay you." Xiao Ye was speechless. "Who do you think you are? I wouldn't even agree to that." "Dean, if that's your attitude, then we have nothing to talk about. Go find someone else to massage you." Yangxi. Her lips twitched, and a conflicted expression appeared on her face as she hesitated whether to apologize. Xiao Ye's lips curled up, and he picked up a needle-leaf fruit, peeled it open with his hand, and wanted to eat it. Damn. But he didn't expect that the needle-leaf fruit actually contained powerful and sharp sword energy, and his finger was cut by the sword intent shooting out from it. With a soft drip, a drop of golden blood flowed from his slender finger and landed on the table. This drop of golden blood reflected a brilliant golden light, instantly illuminating the room. Ugh! Xiao Ye felt a sharp pain and hurriedly dropped the needle-leaf fruit. This fruit, reserved for at least a great venerable level cultivator, was clearly not something a weak grandmaster like himself could touch. If he had eaten it, his throat might have been pierced by sword energy. Fortunately, he had inherited the five-clawed golden dragon's control over the five elements, allowing him to freely manipulate the healing wood element, and the wound on his finger healed instantly. At this moment, Yunzai's beautiful eyes widened, her gaze fixed on the drop of golden blood on the table. The blood of a higher life form held a deadly allure for a lower life form. Yunzai's attention was involuntarily drawn to the golden blood. Ahem. Dean, if you want me to massage you, come find me next time with a proper attitude. Bye. Having sniffed out several times, Xiao Ye ran off in a flash. He didn't want to stay any longer, he was too embarrassed. Yunzai's face darkened, her eyes turning icy. She thought to herself, damn it. How dare he talk to me like that? A proper attitude? How? Her impression of Xiao Ye had plummeted to rock bottom. But the next second, her body's instinctive yearning for higher life forms made her lean closer to the table, bending down to bring her cold face close to the golden blood. She sniffed it with her delicate nose. I want to eat it. She felt an urge to lick it. So she stuck out her tongue, dipped it in, and licked it. Yunzai's beautiful eyes widened, and an excited expression appeared on her cold face. This is blood comparable to an emperor-level life form? It tastes delicious. All lower life forms instinctively yearn for higher life forms. After savoring the taste, she realized the utterly perverse things she had done. A rare blush appeared on her delicate face. Frowning, Xie instinctively picked up the only teacup on the table and gulped down several mouthfuls before she could feel the blood in her mouth being washed away. Ugh! But then she realized again, and the blush on her face deepened. This is the water Xiao Ye drank from, and from the same spot. Ah! Xie felt a long-lost sense of shyness and embarrassment, and her beautiful cheeks burned. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 136 Xie, you've become a pervert, you still want to eat. Why this long-lost shyness? Since reaching the venerable realm, over the past few hundred to nearly 1,000 years, her emotions have become scarce, almost exclusively limited to indifference and impatience. But human emotions are diverse and ever-changing. Sour, sweet, bitter, angry, sad, melancholic, happy, and exhilarating. Jealousy produces a sour feeling, like craving lemons. Happy events produce joy. Helplessness produces melancholy and depression. A life of hardship and struggle produces bitterness, and suppressed emotions, when they finally erupt, produce a feeling of exhilaration. Xie covered her face with her delicate white hands, feeling the unusually hot temperature on her exquisite cheeks. She quickly glanced at the door, sensing Xiao Ye's location, and found he had already left the courtyard and wasn't paying attention. She breathed a sigh of relief. If Xiao Ye had discovered that she, who had just been despising him and treating him coldly, was now licking his blood and drinking from the same spot he had used, she would be dead. The seemingly aloof Dean, in everyone's eyes, was actually a freak? Phew. Xie breathed a sigh of relief, the blush on her cheeks fading slightly. After easing her embarrassment, she covered her mouth in astonishment and exclaimed, the life level of this drop of golden blood is much higher than mine, a top-tier supreme being. Why did the five-clawed golden dragon undergo such a mutation? Even the life level of its human form has been elevated, almost comparable to the Emperor realm. Normal human blood is bright red, but this drop of blood was a brilliant golden yellow, radiating a profound aura unique to higher life forms. Xie licked her lips with her delicate red tongue, her beautiful eyes fixed intently on the drop of golden blood. Gulp. She swallowed, wanting more. Glancing towards the door, since Xiao Ye wasn't present, Xie simply extended her slender white finger and smeared the entire drop of golden blood onto her fingertip. She put her finger in her mouth like a lollipop. Every cell in her body trembled, as if vying for ownership of the drop of golden blood. Young Xie felt a surge of pleasure once more, her beautiful face lighting up with excitement. A blush, white with a hint of pink, returned to her fair cheeks, spreading all the way to her delicate ears. Young Xie loved this feeling of pleasure. But there was only one drop of golden blood, which vanished in an instant. The pleasure she felt came quickly and intensely, but it also disappeared just as fast, leaving no trace. "I want to eat more," she muttered. But then, realizing what she had done, Young Xie cursed herself for being so perverted and shameless. But perverted as she was, she really wanted to eat it. Because it gave her immense pleasure. Should I tie Xiao Ye up and lock him up, then bleed him every day? Young Xie shook her head. How could she possibly do that? Pleasure was one thing, but she wasn't blinded by it. Perhaps it was the golden blood that made her want to wash away the smell of blood, so she picked up the water glass on the table and began to drink it slowly. Meanwhile, back in Villa number 10 of the Lakeside Villa district, Xiao Ye sat on a stone chair, looking dejected, and sullenly cracked sunflower seeds. Leah, who was preparing dinner, was wearing a cool off-the-shoulder jacket and shorts. Sensing Xiao Ye's unusual mood, Liu Ye sat down beside him, puzzled, and asked, "Xiao Ye, didn't you go to the dean's? What happened?" Xiao Ye pouted, "Teaching assistant, is that old woman Young Xie going through menopause? Her temper is so bad." Liu was startled and covered his mouth with her hand, exclaiming, "The Supreme One cannot be insulted, you cannot speak carelessly about him, be careful what you say. Let's just talk about the matter at hand, what happened?" Xiao Ye removed her cool hand, played with it in his own, and said speechlessly, "So what if you're a Supreme One? Even Supreme Ones go through menopause, and get old. A Supreme One's anger can cause corpses to float for miles." Knowing the terrifying power of the Supreme Realm, Liu Ye used her other delicate white hand to cover Xiao Ye's mouth. "Be careful what you say. Xiao Ye." He pulled the hand away and held it in his own, frowning, "Isn't this a bit much? Can't I even say a word? She doesn't know anything, and I didn't even insult her, I was just telling the truth about an old woman." Liu Ye's beautiful eyes widened, both her hands were being held by Xiao Ye, so she had no choice but to cover his mouth with hers. The cool touch hit him, and Xiao Ye was stunned. He really couldn't say a word. Ugh! A spicy sensation came from his mouth, and Xiao Ye hurriedly pushed Liu Ye away, coughing, "Cough cough, it's burning my throat, what did you eat?" Liu licked her lips and giggled. "A level 100 spiciness Supreme Realm ingredient, ghost pepper, it's so spicy and refreshing." "Xiao Ye." Liu chuckled, "Don't say anything bad, or I'll burn you to death with my mouth." As she spoke, she retorted again. Xiao Ye's lips twitched, and he hurriedly covered her face with his hand, saying, "I won't say it, I absolutely won't say it. You actually like eating raw ghost peppers. Huh, not saying it now doesn't mean he won't say it later." Supreme Realm? For the 5-Claw Golden Dragon of the upgraded template, Mythical 5-Claw Golden Dragon Supreme template, it won't be long before it advances. At that time, will he still need to see Yunzai's sour face? He'll just tie her up and beat her like a drum. Liu asked again what happened, and Xiao Ye told her the truth. "You told me not to contact Vice Dean Yunbing anymore?" Liu frowned. "Why? The dean wouldn't say that for no reason." Xiao Ye glanced at her and shook his head. "Nothing, I'm just getting old." Liu was puzzled. The dean's attitude might be related to recent events. Was it the 5-Claw Golden Dragon template upgrade? Or the contract she made with Xiao Ye? Liu vaguely felt it was related to her. Perhaps it was because she made a contract with Xiao Ye that Dean Yunzai treated Xiao Ye this way. Liu felt it necessary to go to Dean Yangxi's place to clear things up. Meanwhile, at the Hong family martial arts school headquarters, Hong Tao, the son of a top-tier supreme being, was on the phone with Yang Junming, the son of a high-level supreme being and the son of a titan supreme being. Hong Tao had previously sent Yang Junming to find out Xiao Ye's preferences, hoping to cultivate a good relationship between them. "Hong Tao, how's the progress?" Yang Junming was delighted, currently indulging in a sweet moment. "Great progress. Xiao Ye is amazing. He's like a reincarnation of the patriarch, helping me and Xiao Yun successfully break through that barrier. I'm definitely going to be friends with Xiao Ye." Hong Tao's face darkened. Hong Yun was his cousin, he wasn't there to inquire about this. "I asked if you figured out Xiao Ye's preferences?" Yang Junming hesitated, then replied directly, "No. He had been immobilized by the blazing sun flames of the blazing fire beast as soon as he appeared, barely exchanging a few words with Xiao Ye before Hong Yun pulled him back to check if Jill had exploded. After that, the two successfully broke through their barrier. He'd completely forgotten about figuring out Xiao Ye's preferences. Hong Tao's communicator was on speakerphone, and a greasy, 300-pound fat woman leaned in, her eyes wary. "Honey, what are his preferences? You've got your eye on the Xiao Ye and want to find out what he likes? Oh. You haven't touched me in 6 months. So you've gone gay and now like sleeping with men." Chapter 137 The Hong Family's Scheme, Goddess Teaching Assistant Seeks Youngxi! Exclamation mark. Looking at the anger on the fat woman's face, Hong Tao smiled bitterly. "Wife, don't you know if I'm gay or straight? That Xiao Ye is a talented young man. I admire him and want to win him over, so I had someone find out his preferences so I can tailor my approach accordingly." The fat woman was skeptical. "Really?" Hong Tao nodded. "Really, more real than gold." The 300-pound fat woman snorted and pounced on him. "Who knows if you've turned gay or not? I want to verify it myself." Hong Tao's face darkened, his expression full of resistance. 100 years ago, this woman contracted a strange disease that was incurable. Her weight gradually increased from 100 pounds to over 300 pounds now, making her look like a ball of flesh. The reason he was attracted to Liu Yam, this stunning beauty, was because this ball of flesh simply didn't interest him. If this fat woman weren't the daughter of a supreme being, he would have kicked her out long ago. "Oh, Brother Tao, you're busy. We'll talk about Xiao Ye tomorrow." Yang Junming sensed something was wrong and quickly hung up the phone. At this moment, Hong Tao was suffering from the shock of the flood, his face contorted in pain. A minute later, the fat woman, satisfied, said, "You're straight." Hong Tao dragged his weary body into the living room, lit a cigarette, and took a few heavy puffs. "What a tragedy," he suddenly wailed. Xiao Ye had stolen the beauty he had his eye on, and not only could he not retaliate, he had to put aside his differences and try to win her over. Right now, Xiao Ye was probably happily embracing Liu Ya's soft, fragrant body, fast asleep, while he could only be crushed under the weight of the greasy fat woman. Buzz buzz buzz. Suddenly, his family communicator vibrated. Taking it out, Hong Tao's face lit up with joy. It was a message from his father. He wondered what his father's attitude would be after learning about Xiao Ye, this brilliant and talented person. Hong Tao opened the message to check. "Come to my villa." Sure enough, even a top-tier supreme being was interested in a groundbreaking genius like Xiao Ye. After packing up, Hong Tao set off for Villa number 1 in the Hong family's headquarters. In the living room, Supreme Hong Dingshan was brewing tea, waiting for Hong Tao, his expression somewhat grave. Upon entering, Hong Tao boasted, as if seeking credit, "Dad, I'm the one who discovered this person. What reward should I receive? If we bring him into the Huang family, it will definitely elevate the family to a higher level. How about it? Has your son done a great service this time?" But the expected look of satisfaction from his father didn't appear. Hong Dingshan's face was grim. Hong Tao's heart skipped a beat, a bad premonition rose within him. Bang! Hong Dingshan slammed his water glass heavily on the table, his voice deep and resonant. "This Xiao Ye will definitely become an enemy of the Hong family." "Hong Tao? Why?" Hong Dingshan glanced at him impatiently. "Isn't it all because of the three of you? Do you remember, 150 years ago, a peak Grand Venerable Guard died under the claws of a supreme demonic beast because of your recklessness?" Hong Tao frowned, trying to recall, but only very vague fragments remained. "It seems there was such a thing, but what does it have to do with Xiao Ye?" Faced with his son's question, Hong Dingshan revealed the truth. "Those two people are named Liu Ho and Yu Ro, Liu Ya's parents." He took out a stack of documents from the drawer and pushed them over. Hong Tao picked up the documents and looked at them. They contained information about Liu Ya's family and detailed information about Xiao Ye. The more he read, the more gloomy his face became. So, it was Liu Ya's mother who sacrificed herself. And Liu Ho has been secretly investigating the Hong family all these years. Hong Dingshan nodded. "Yes, Liu Ho's investigative methods are very covert, but I caught him red-handed a few times, but I didn't investigate further." Hong Tao fell silent. He could guess Liu Ho's purpose, to avenge the death of Yu Ro. But Yu Ro was killed by a supreme realm demonic beast. Hong Dingshan, after that demonic beast died, Liu Ho came to me, demanding an explanation. I offered some compensation, but he refused to accept it. Hong Tao finally remembered. It was his insistence on leaving the Magic City base, and his forceful order for Liu Huanyu to guard him the entire way, that led to the tragedy. If he hadn't recklessly used his family's power to suppress the city's guards and successfully sneak out, the entire city would have been on high alert, and Yi Ro wouldn't have died at the hands of a Supreme Realm demonic beast. So what do we do? Hong Tao asked. Hong Dingshan frowned. If it weren't for Xiao Ye, this super genius, I wouldn't have bothered with Liu Hou. With his size, he wouldn't have any impact on the Hong family. But Xiao Ye, this variable, has appeared. Hong Tao's face darkened. I understand. We can't win this person over. Xiao Ye probably already knows about this. That white-haired man in the tavern last time was probably Liu Hou. He made a throat-slitting gesture. Hong Dingshan nodded. I'm leaving this matter to you. Make sure it's airtight. Xiao Ye was recruited into Kunpeng Academy by high-level Supreme Yun Bing. Their relationship is quite close. You must act outside the Magic City Academy, leaving no trace. Or, so discord between them, causing high-level Supreme Yun Bing to abandon Xiao Ye. Then you can act without hesitation and resolve the situation directly. Important tasks for large families are always handled flawlessly, especially when a high-level Supreme is involved. Perhaps even behind a high-level Supreme is a top-level Supreme. This kind of power can even rival the currently dominant Hong family. Alright, this needs to be done step by step, no rush. Xiao Ye is a super genius, but a genius is just a genius. Right now, he's still an ant the Hong family can crush with a flick of their wrist. With a wave of his hand, Hong Dingshan left the living room to rest. Hong Tao rubbed his thick eyebrows and dragged his tired body back to his villa. But as soon as he returned, a round, plump woman pounced on him. Ah! Hong Tao screamed, suffering another crushing blow. Meanwhile, in Villa number 10 of the three-character Lakeside Villa district, during dinner, a powerful aura erupted from Xiao Ye. His cultivation level had advanced from Grandmaster Level 2 to Grandmaster Level 3. He could break through a small stage of the Grandmaster realm in just 1 hour. It was estimated that he would advance to the Supreme Realm by the end of the night. This exaggerated speed of advancement made Cheng Bingxi envious and Liu Ya speechless. After the template upgrade, the realm would be reshaped, requiring retraining, but this speed was too exaggerated. Liu speculated that it wouldn't be long before Xiao Ye surpassed her. After dinner, Cheng Bingxi transformed into a three-tailed white fox and diligently cultivated, trying not to fall too far behind. Xiao Ye went to the shop to exchange for Venerable Realm crystal cores and used the Zhuanghuang gemstone to purify energy liquid so that the five-clawed golden dragon would have energy liquid to use tomorrow. Liu Yan, on the other hand, set off for the villa where Yangxi was. After successfully entering the villa, Yangxi asked, Assistant Liu, what's up? Not even tea was offered. She really was an emotionless iceberg, Liu Yan thought to herself. Liu Yan, Xiao Ye formed a contract with me to permanently resolve my template problem. Yangxi's pupils contracted upon hearing this. The template problem was something even a Saint Realm expert above the Supreme level couldn't solve. Chapter 138 The Goddess Teen's attitude changes, Cheng Bingxi's resentment. Surprise appeared on Yangxi's beautiful face as she asked incredulously, Really? Liu Yan nodded, Really? My template problem has been permanently solved. The problem of not being able to cultivate and improve my realm has been resolved. Yangxi was deeply shaken. The template problem that had troubled teaching Assistant Liu Ya for years had actually been completely solved by Xiao Ye. Many supreme beings, even several Saint Realm experts, had been consulted about Liu Ya's template problem, but they were all at a loss, let alone able to solve it. Seeing the icy beauty Yangxi's shock, Liu Ya felt quite intrigued. This goddess Teen, who always wore a cold and aloof expression, was actually surprised. Liu felt reassured and raised an eyebrow, saying, Forming a contract with Xiao Ye was my own initiative. My template problem wasn't just about not being able to improve my realm. Over the years, my realm had been declining, and not long ago it had dropped to the first star of the Great Venerable Realm. So, without Xiao Ye, as time went on, my realm would only continue to decline, eventually turning me into an ordinary person. Her pretty face showed gratitude. Continuously declining, turning into an ordinary person? Yangxi was shocked once again. Liu sighed, Yes, that's why I shamelessly seduced a student, and I've suffered a lot because of it. Shamelessly seduced a student? Yunzai's eyelids twitched. As her cultivation level increased, her remaining emotional nerves diminished, eventually almost disappearing. Yunbing was the same. Suddenly, Yunzai understood Yunbing a little. Liu once again made a startling statement. Dean, your opinion on Xiao Ye contracting 3 beast girls might be that you think he's a promiscuous scumbag. But what if Xiao Ye's second beast girl, Nanguang Xiao, also formed a contract with Xiao Ye because of a template issue? Surprise reappeared on Yunzai's usually indifferent face. The second beast girl, is that 5-claw golden dragon template girl with a giant panda? A giant panda? You have a giant panda too. Liu Ya glanced at Yangxi's bloated figure, which even her bulky robes couldn't conceal, and nodded. Yes, after forming a contract with Xiao Ye, I learned that Xiao's template problem was a failed attempt to awaken an SSS level 5-claw golden dragon, the awakening stone detected an F-level swimming dragon. Speaking of which, Xiao Ye only normally contracts with 1 beast girl. The other 2 were only agreed upon after much effort. Having learned the whole story, Dean Yangxi fell silent. So, Xiao Ye's contract with a teaching assistant wasn't for sexual fetishes, but to solve a problem. So, the other 2 beast girls also had template issues. Moreover, he was the one who was asked, the one who was seduced. He was forced to contract multiple beast girls. Forming contracts was actually to save problem girls, to save problem teaching assistants. I misunderstood Xiao Ye. He's not promiscuous, nor is he without boundaries, nor is he a lecherous old man. Xiao Ye is a helpful and good student. Yangxi said absent-mindedly, picking up the only water glass on the table and gulping down several mouthfuls of water. Liu smiled, her smile blooming like a beautiful flower. Actually, she was lying. Xiao Ye solving her template problem wasn't directly related to forming a contract. The template problem could be permanently solved without a contract. But the template problem was a world-class problem. Why would Xiao Ye solve it for her? With a reward? What reward could compare to a crystallized fragment of rules? Only by becoming Xiao Ye's closest person would he intervene. This meant that forming a contract with Xiao Ye was the only way to solve the template problem. Thinking about it a bit more, she wasn't wrong. Goodbye, Dean. Liu left. Yunzai frowned, sitting on the sofa, pursing her red lips, her mind a mess. Both she and Yunbing had template problems, and currently only Xiao Ye could solve them. For a permanent solution, she needed to form a contract with Xiao Ye. For a temporary solution, she would need to strip naked and let Xiao Ye perform a full-body acupressure massage. Whether it was a permanent or temporary solution, Xiao Ye's intervention was necessary. Not long ago, she forcefully told Xiao Ye to stay away from Yunbing. Judging from Xiao Ye's reaction, she had offended him, and he was probably angry right now. At this moment, Yunzai's prejudice against Xiao Ye had disappeared, and her attitude had changed from disdain to apprehension and distress. Should I apologize to him? Yunzai rubbed her eyebrows, feeling uneasy and distressed. She hadn't felt this apprehension and distress in a long time. In the past, she would have simply ignored it, but things were different now. Having rediscovered emotions, she didn't want to be a cold, emotionless teen anymore. Without emotions, what was the difference between her and a walking corpse? What was the difference between her and a robot that could only act according to program? It was laughable, a top-tier supreme being, yet she was a robot without emotions. But she could reprimand Xiao Ye 1 minute and then lower herself to apologize to him the next. She could do it. She wasn't a supreme being who liked to put on airs. But she rarely interacted with people. How would she apologize to Xiao Ye when she saw him? He coldly said, "I misunderstood you, please forgive me." Meanwhile, in Villa number 10 of the 3-character Lakeside Villa District, on the first floor, in the living room with its original Syrian-style decor, Cheng Bingxi, whose chest didn't heave much but whose legs were incredibly long and white, complained to Xiao Ye with a troubled expression on her delicate face. "Xiao Ye, the 3-tailed white fox's cultivation speed is too slow." Xiao Ye clicked his tongue. The white fox's cultivation speed is already 20 times faster than a typical SSS-level cultivator, and you still complain? Cheng Bingxi sat on his lap, swaying her hips and pouting. "Yes, it's too slow." Xiao's 5-claw golden dragon broke through a minor stage of the Grandmaster realm in an hour, but the 3-tailed white fox needs a day and a half. Almost 2 days. If the Academy's geniuses heard this, they might be furious. Damn it, it takes us at least several months to break through a minor stage of the Grandmaster realm, And you're still not satisfied with 2 days? Xiao Ye's lips twitched. So you're comparing it to the 5-claw golden dragon, huh? The 5-claw golden dragon's template is mythical level, an advanced version of SSS level. The two are obviously different. Xiao Ye wanted to tease her, asking, you want to upgrade your template too? Cheng Bingxi's beautiful eyes shone with longing. Of course. Who doesn't want to upgrade their template? Xiao Ye stroked her long, white, and lustrous legs, feeling their smooth texture. But upgrading the template will reshape your realm. Resetting it to 0. Cheng Bingxi let him do as he pleased. It's okay, after upgrading the template, I can reach the Grandmaster realm in a few hours. Xiao Ye frowned. After upgrading the template, Seeing he was about to say something, Cheng Bingxi silenced him with a kiss. After a while, they separated. Cheng Bingxi pouted, looking heartbroken. Xiao Ye, have you forgotten your old love now that you have a new one? I was the first beast girl you contracted. Why can Xiao's 5-claw golden dragon upgrade, but the white fox can't? Chapter 139 Xiao Ye's compensation, the Hong family's plan. Cheng Bingxi poured out her grievances to Xiao Ye. As Xiao Ye's longest-serving companion, his childhood sweetheart, and his first beast girl, she usually understood him and never let personal feelings interfere with or criticize him. But she was human, she could have received all of Xiao Ye's affection, yet she always seemed to be the least noticed. These resentments had been bottled up inside her, and today, taking advantage of being alone with Xiao Ye, they finally erupted. Seeing Cheng Bingxi's resentful eyes and pitiful expression, Xiao Ye's heart softened, and he couldn't bear to hurt her anymore. He reached out and pinched her smooth, pretty face, saying, don't worry, your 9-tailed celestial fox template can be upgraded. As my beast girl, I will upgrade your template levels. The 9-tailed celestial fox and the spirit cat will both have their templates upgraded. But you have to take things one step at a time. The conditions for upgrading templates are very demanding, and the resources required are very rare and hard to obtain. Reassured by his promise, Cheng Bingxi shook off Xiao Ye's rough hand that was playing with her long legs and happily said, as long as I can upgrade, I'm going to cultivate. Xiao Ye was stunned when he saw his hand being shaken off. He quickly pulled Cheng Bingxi back from the basement and smiled wickedly, saying, you've been cultivating all day. Take a break. Work and rest are important. He placed his rough hand on her delicate skin again and continued, I neglected your feelings before, so I'll make it up to you today. Cheng Bingxi's beautiful eyes lit up, and she said coquettishly, how will you make it up to me? With something delicious? Xiao Ye knew she was a foodie. But he shook his head, then nodded, and smiled, I'll make it up to you in another way. Another way? Cheng Bingxi looked blankly at him. What way? Then, Xiao Ye picked her up and carried her into the bedroom. After a while, the two returned to the living room sofa. Cheng Bingxi, her face flushed, rolled her eyes at him. So that was his way of making it up to her. What a rascal. Xiao Ye smiled and asked, just tell me when you're feeling down, and I'll make it up to you. Cheng Bingxi. Feeling better? Xiao Ye's lips curled into a smile. If not, I can make it up to you again. Once isn't enough, I'll do it twice, I'll definitely make you happy. Cheng Bingxi rolled her eyes at him. You said you'd upgrade the 9-tailed celestial fox template, of course I'm happy. Suddenly, a mature and sexy figure entered from outside the door. Her eyes widened, her gaze sweeping between the two of them before finally settling on Xiao Ye. She said, the white fox can upgrade its template, what about the spirit cat? Liu Yat had fully witnessed the terrifying power of the 5-claw golden dragon template. After its upgrade, it was terrifying indeed. Its cultivation speed alone crushed all SSS-level templates, its cultivation could cause celestial phenomena, and its power of intent was also of a high level. In short, she also greatly admired the template upgrade. Xiao Ye, holding Cheng Bingxi's soft body, looked troubled and said, teaching assistant, upgrading the template will reshape your realm. You're already a great venerable, so after upgrading, your realm will revert to the first level of the mortal realm. Liu smiled dismissively, it's alright, just start over. It's easier to walk the path you've already walked. Xiao Ye said. But I don't have enough crystal cores to support the cultivation of 3 summoned beasts. Liu patted her ample chest, if you don't have enough crystal cores, just earn them. Leave it to me. Xiao Ye was surprised. The resources required for a mythical level template are terrifying, almost 4 or 5 times that of an SSS level template summoned beast. Are you so confident you can earn them? Having been a professor and teaching assistant for so long, Liu Yat had many ways to earn crystal cores, so she patted her ample chest again and said, "Of course. There are many ways to earn crystal cores. If all else fails, I'll just borrow them. Do you think all my disciples and students are just decorations?" Xiao Ye shook his head. "I don't believe you're that confident." Liu Yat's beautiful eyes widened. "You don't want to upgrade the spirit cat, so you're making up this excuse?" Cheng Bingxi chuckled. She felt this conversation was familiar. Xiao Ye was so mischievous, trying to tease Liu Yat. Xiao Ye beckoned Liu Yat closer. Liu Yat complied, saying with dissatisfaction, "I'm very confident, okay?" Xiao Ye shook his head. "Whether you're confident or not, I need to verify it myself to know." Liu Yat's delicate face was full of confusion. How could confidence be verified? Did he expect her to earn crystal cores? But Xiao Ye's next action cleared up her doubts. Xiao Ye raised his hand and touched her heart. It was indeed large, and he nodded in agreement. "Yes, you are indeed very confident. I believe you." Liu blushed and glared at him. So that's how he verified it. "Since you're so confident, then I'll find a way to upgrade the spirit cat's template," Xiao Ye said with a smile. Cheng Bingxi finally couldn't hold back her laughter and giggled, saying sweetly, "Sister Leah, don't worry, Xiao Ye promised that the templates for all 3 beast girls would be upgraded. He was just teasing you." Hearing this, Liu Ye rolled her eyes at him, her beautiful eyes widening. "Have you touched enough?" Xiao Ye, "No." Next, Cheng Bingxi transformed into a 3-tailed white fox to cultivate, while Liu Ye pulled Xiao Ye into the bedroom. They slept together. Unlike Xiao Ye, who was sleeping soundly in the fragrant room. On the other side, after being crushed by Mount Tai for another 30 seconds, Hong Tao pushed away the fat woman and came to the living room looking exhausted. After thinking it over, wanting to eliminate Xiao Ye without any consequences, he decided to first destroy the relationship between Yun Bing, the vice dean of Kunpeng Academy, and Xiao Ye, so that Yun Bing, the Kunpeng Supreme, would give up on Xiao Ye. Then, he would find an opportunity to lure Xiao Ye out of the Magic City base and carry out a magical beast assassination. When Xiao Ye was gone, it wouldn't affect the Hong family. Having already given up on Xiao Ye, Kunpeng Supreme Yun Bing would probably be too lazy to investigate and wouldn't follow the trail to the Huang family. But how could he make Kunpeng Supreme Yun Bing give up on Xiao Ye? After careful consideration, he decided to start with Kunpeng Supreme Yun Bing's preferences. Yun Bing was a high-level supreme, and from her awakening until now, she had cultivated in human form. Any male who formed a contract with her would instantly explode and die. She had a fiery temper and was prone to beating people up at the drop of a hat. Moreover, rumors circulated that she had a misogyny and couldn't stand servile, sycophantic men. Sycophant? Was Xiao Ye a sycophant? Hong Tao shook his head. Even his underling Yang Junming said that Xiao Ye was the reincarnation of the most devoted and affectionate patriarch. He couldn't possibly be a sycophant. Touching his chin, Hong Tao's brows furrowed deeply. Patriarch? Devoted? A patriarch who had slept with countless women? Hong Tao's eyes lit up. Wasn't this just a scumbag? What a load of rubbish. The so-called patriarch, and the most devoted love. A complete scumbag. High-level Supreme Yun Bing doesn't have a contractor, but she's a woman, and from a woman's perspective, she'll definitely despise and scorn this scumbag. He has a plan. He'll make high-level Supreme Yun Bing fully aware of Xiao Ye's scumbag persona, thus making her hate him. Heh. Hong Tao chuckled maliciously, saying sinisterly, Xiao Ye, Liu Ya's plan to catch you cheating failed, leaving me with a mouthful of dog food. But now, how will you deal with this? Chapter 140, The Crystal of Artistic Conception. The plan is underway. Villa number 001, Lakeside Villa area, Kunpeng Academy. The residence of Yun Xianjun, the number 1 genius on the Kunpeng Prodigy ranking. Yun Xianjun and his contractor, Jiao, were drinking alone, looking distressed, their silence heavy with unspoken worries. After a long silence, they finally spoke. It's unlikely we'll break through to the Grandmaster realm before graduating from our senior year. Without reaching the Grandmaster realm, we're not qualified to compete for the Secret Realm Management position. Sigh, it's a fate. The Secret Realm Management position, as the name suggests, is the entrance and resource manager of a dimensional secret realm. This position is highly coveted, not only because of the generous salary, but also because it allows for the accumulation of resources within the secret realm and the opportunity to build connections. A dimensional secret realm is an alternate dimension containing abundant resources. How about we force our way to the Grandmaster realm? Xie Ye suggested. Yun Xianjun, the #1 genius on the Kunpeng prodigy ranking, shook his head. No, forcibly breaking through to Grandmaster level, while qualified to compete for the position, has a very low chance of success. Moreover, forcibly breaking through to Grandmaster level with outward strength but inward weakness will seriously damage one's foundation. The key to breaking through to Grandmaster level is a qualitative breakthrough in the power of intent. Only when the quality reaches a certain level can one break through. They are SS-level Golden Lion templates, with a realm of 10 stars in the Grandmaster realm. Unless aided by rare and precious materials, it is almost impossible to break through from the peak of Grandmaster to Grandmaster level within a year. This is what troubles them. Suddenly, beep beep beep. The doorbell rang. Yun Xianjun, the #1 genius on the Kunpeng prodigy ranking, was startled. Who had come to his place so late? Just as he was about to open the door, the villa door opened automatically with a hum, and a tall, muscular, masked figure entered. He was completely hidden under a black night combat suit, with only a pair of tired eyes showing. The tipsy Yun Xianjun and his contractor Xie Ye snapped to attention and shouted, "This is Kunpeng Academy, guarded by a supreme being. If you dare to commit violence, you'll regret it." This man in black had arrived uninvited, concealing his identity and even his face, clearly indicating ill intent. The man in black didn't speak, but raised his palm, revealing an oval crystal. The oval crystal radiated a rich, profound energy. The wary Yun Xianjun and Xie Ye exclaimed, "A crystal of intent." Crystals of intent, found in underground veins, are extremely rare, each a rare treasure, costing the equivalent of a high-grade venerables crystal core, but almost impossible to find. The crystal of intent's effects, it effectively assists grandmasters and great grandmasters in condensing their intent power, making it a treasure for those in these realms. The man in black sat down on the sofa, poured himself a glass of wine with an air of familiarity, and said, "One spirit crystal for a favor." Yun Xianjun and Xie Ye exchanged a glance, both seeing the eagerness in each other's eyes. Xie Ye couldn't help but ask, "What is it?" The man in black smiled, "It's simple." 10 minutes later, the two sides finished their discussion, and the man in black left. He left behind a spirit crystal and a large USB drive on the table. Xie Ye looked at the spirit crystal on the table and exclaimed in surprise, "He's so trusting, isn't he afraid we won't do it?" "Who cares?" Yun Xianjun picked up the spirit crystal and weighed it in his hand. "This spirit crystal is enough to allow us to break through a level in our spirit power within half a year, thus breaking through to the Grandmaster realm. But before that, let's do this well." Exposing Xiao Ye's scumbag nature? Xiao Ye? That name sounds familiar. He picked up the USB drive and inserted it into the tablet. Xiao Ye's information appeared on the screen. A Grandmaster at the 7th star level, ranked 2nd on the Kunpeng prodigy ranking. He has 3 contracted beast girls, Nanguang Xiao, Chang Bingxi, and Liu Yang, each accompanied by a headshot. He is lecherous and promiscuous, frequenting brothels and maid taverns. Yun Xianjun was astonished. 3 beast girls? Wait. Liu Yang? Yun Xianjun's eyes widened in shock. The most beautiful teaching assistant, Liu Yang? Clicking on the headshot, it was indeed a picture of the goddess teaching assistant, Liu Yang. The most beautiful teaching assistant, Liu Yang, was the goddess of 99% of the male students at Kunpeng Academy. Not only was she powerful, holding the title of the strongest below the supreme level, but she was also the top teacher at the Magic City Academy. Yun Xianjun was one of Liu Yang's most ardent admirers. Opening the files on the USB drive, he found intimate images of Xiao Ye and Liu Yang kissing, seemingly in a tavern. Damn! Did Xiao Ye save Earth in his past life? All 3 beast girls are stunning beauties, one of whom is my goddess. Yun Xianjun was consumed by jealousy. Seeing Liu Ye sitting on Xiao Ye's lap, feeding him imported wine, Yun Xianjun felt like killing Xiao Ye. Scumbag! This Xiao Ye is absolutely a scumbag. Yun Xianjun decided he would make everyone at Kunpeng Academy, including the teachers and dean, realize how promiscuous Xiao Ye was. Xie Ye looked at Xiao Ye's headshot, her eyes widening involuntarily. She thought to herself, this guy is so handsome. Much more handsome than Yun Xianjun, his face sharply defined, like a work of art, without a single flaw. Moreover, he possessed a unique charisma that made people fall for him at first glance. Yun Xianjun was about to tell Xie Ye about their next plan when he turned and saw her staring intently at Xiao Ye's profile picture. His contractor wife was staring at another man in front of him. Bang! Yun Xianjun slammed his fist on the table in anger, his face darkening. Is he handsome? Xie Ye subconsciously replied, handsome. She swallowed unconsciously, lost in her own fantasies. Yun Xianjun felt like he'd been cuckolded. Damn it, he cursed, furious. Not only had his goddess teaching assistant been seduced by that Xiao Ye, but his own contractor wife was also swooning over him. Don't look! Yun Xianjun roared, switching the screen to the next one. Xie Ye pouted, just a glance, it won't hurt you. You're allowed to look at your goddess, but I'm not allowed to look at handsome guys? Yun Xianjun gritted his teeth, feeling like his head was about to explode. A strange, incredibly beautiful girl in a maid outfit appeared on the screen, intimately wiping Xiao Ye's sweat. Yun Xianjun exclaimed joyfully, Xiao, look! This guy's a pervert. He has 3 gorgeous beast girls and he even goes to brothels. Yeah, he has the potential to be a scumbag. Xiao replied. Yun Xianjun laughed, he's a scumbag to begin with. I've always looked down on men who casually flirt with random women. I'd never be a scumbag, right, Xiao? Contractor Xiao glanced at his plain, ordinary face and said disdainfully, you're still eyeing what you don't have, aren't you? Don't think I don't know you secretly look at photos of the most beautiful teaching assistant, Liu Yan, every night before bed. Besides, it's not that you don't want to be a scumbag, it's that you don't deserve to be one. Yun Xianjun's face darkened, and he roared, I'm going crazy. Anyway, I'm going to let everyone at Kunpeng Academy know about Xiao Ye's scumbag nature. He wasn't going to sleep anymore and immediately started posting anonymously on the official website, Tiba, and various forums. Using the content on his USB drive, he edited the posts, adding embellishments and exaggerated titles to smear him. Chapter 141 Xiao, you scumbag, you deserve to die. Shocking. Xiao Ye is actually a scumbag, outrageous. He contracted 3 beast girls at the same time, and he even went to brothels. The most beautiful teaching assistant goddess Liu Ya's new husband is actually this kind of person. Is it the distortion of human nature or the depravity of morality? The top scorer in the college entrance examination actually did that kind of thing behind his contractor's back. Latest event, squeezed into the top 10 of the world's most outrageous events. Let us see the true nature of super geniuses so that you won't be deceived. Hundreds of posts with sensational titles appeared in various corners of the official website and forum, quickly attracting the attention of countless students of Kunpeng Academy. Xiao Ye? Who is he? He's a scumbag, the title says so. Xiao Ye? We have a Xiao Ye in our elite class. The guy upstairs, it's definitely Xiao Ye from our elite class, the second-ranked Grandmaster 7-star on the elite ranking. Wow. This guy actually made a contract with a goddess teaching assistant? This is really explosive news. Holy crap, there's even a video in the post. The goddess teaching assistant is giving him imported wine. My goddess has been defiled. This guy deserves to die. He has a beautiful wife at home and still goes to brothels. Confirmed to be a scumbag, Xiao the scumbag. But why would the goddess teaching assistant be interested in him? Crack. The sound of hearts breaking echoed throughout the Kunpeng Academy dormitories. Voices of envy, jealousy, and hatred, filled with gritted teeth, followed one after another. Kunpeng Academy has 3 goddesses, the most popular being the most beautiful teaching assistant, Liu Yan, because she often appears in the students' site, is more approachable, and is the goddess the students interact with the most. Many students apply to Kunpeng Academy specifically for the most beautiful teaching assistant. Cheng Yi, the student council president, who was browsing posts late at night, was shocked when he saw 2 or 3. What? Even his father, the Vajra Supreme, couldn't win over his white moonlight, and Xiao Ye actually contracted her. Outrageous, utterly outrageous. He continued browsing. When he saw the ace maid providing Xiao Ye with a package service, Cheng Yi's lips twitched. He completely agreed with a heartbroken classmate's comments. Damn it, scumbag. With 3 stunningly beautiful contracted beast girls at home, why the hell are you going to brothels? Indeed, in Cheng Yi's eyes, these shady maid taverns were brothels, veritable dens of iniquity. After reading the posts, Cheng Ye took a deep breath and said, Uncle Xiao is in trouble. I wonder who's so blatantly smearing him? It's not exactly smearing, he really is like that. I bet many male prodigies are thinking of coming to his door with knives right now. Beep beep beep. Cheng Ye dialed Xiao Ye's number. But all he heard was a busy signal, no one answered. What's he doing? He's too busy to even answer the phone. Cheng Ye had a startling thought, was Xiao Ye sleeping soundly with his goddess teaching assistant? Hiss. Even I want to kill him. Don't forget, Cheng Ye was also one of the most ardent admirers of the most beautiful teaching assistant, Liu Yang. He dialed 2 or 3 more times, but the call didn't go through. Cheng Ye gritted his teeth and said, Uncle Xiao, I'll take care of this for you. Remember to owe me a favor. Then, as the student council president, he issued an order to his student council to block the posts. The student council had considerable power, including the authority to delete and block posts. In a short time, the incident spread even further, with more than half of the students at Kunpeng Academy involved. On the forum, many new posts appeared. They were all criticizing and cursing Xiao Ye. The posts were filled with negative comments about him. The goddess teaching assistant was definitely deceived by this guy's handsome appearance. He's actually a scumbag. Yes, we need to expose him and let the goddess teaching assistant see his true colors at teaching assistant Liu Yat, at Vice Dean Yun Bing, at Dean Yun Zai. I've tagged the teaching assistants on behalf of everyone. Everyone, let's all tag at teaching assistant Liu Yat, at Vice Dean Yun Bing. Ha ha ha. I've wanted to do this for a long time. Just the fact that he frequented brothels is enough to make him regret it, even expulsion isn't impossible. Many people followed suit, tagging Liu Yang, the vice dean, the dean, and even the head of the teaching department. Almost every teacher with a Baidu Tibet IP address tagged them. Some led the way, some followed suit, and some were simply joining in the fun. But if this unhealthy trend continued, it would definitely be detrimental to Xiao Ye. Just then, delete. Block. Restrict Baidu Tibet account posts. The massive student council mobilized. All posts on the official website and Baidu Tibet related to Xiao Ye being a scumbag were blocked and deleted. Even worse, the IP addresses used to post these messages were banned from posting and speaking for 10 years. Many students in dormitories across the university received messages about their IP addresses being banned from posting and speaking. Damn. The school officials intervened and banned me for 10 years. That's too ruthless. What's wrong with exposing a scumbag? Why ban my privileges? I'm not having it. Pig-like screams echoed from all over the dormitories. Were they really exposing a scumbag? It was simply jealousy, venting their dissatisfaction. But their private outbursts didn't affect the student council's process of blocking and deleting posts and stripping privileges. Within 10 minutes, the most popular posts of this type on the forum were all dealt with. Just as many students were angrily screaming, a post suddenly appeared, its popularity skyrocketing. Everyone, I hereby issue a challenge to Xiao Ye, the second-ranked student on the prodigy ranking. I will face Xiao Ye at the Void God Tower Arena at 8 a.m. tomorrow. I will utterly defeat him and let Assistant Liu know that the student she has her eye on, Xiao Ye, is not as outstanding as she perceives. Posted by Yun Xianjun, the #1 student on the prodigy ranking. Well done, I agree. Ha ha ha, finally someone has made a move. Yes, we must defeat him decisively and let the goddess assistant know that many prodigies in the academy are better than Xiao Ye, +1 for agreement, +1027 for agreement. Be careful, or your posting and commenting privileges might be deleted. This post was not deleted by the student council. The hype grew, and many people were looking forward to Yun Xianjun, the #1 student on the prodigy ranking and a Grandmaster 10-star, giving Xiao Ye, the #2 student on the prodigy ranking, a good beating. Even if it couldn't change the fact that the goddess assistant was under contract, it would still be a way to vent their jealousy. Villa number 001, Lakeside Villa District. Young Xie spent the entire evening trying to figure out how to apologize to Xiao Ye smoothly and perfectly. But having almost no experience in this area, she couldn't come up with anything. Helpless, she took out her tablet, soaked in the bathtub, and decided to learn about the preferences and strange thoughts of young people. So she opened the official forum. Someone tagged me? While lathering herself with soap, Yangxi clicked on the tagged post with a slight look of surprise on her face. Chapter 142 Gaudestine Yangxi is furious. After the page redirected, it displayed blank pages that had already been deleted. It wasn't just one person tagging Xie, there were hundreds. She clicked on each one, only to find blank pages, all deleted posts. More than 10 posts tagged by hundreds of people. How come they've all been deleted? Puzzled, Xie browsed through the main post site. Within a minute, she noticed something was wrong. 3 out of 10 posts were tagged with scumbag. Scumbag? Upon seeing this word, Xie's beautiful eyes turned cold, a chill creeping onto her exquisite face. As a woman, she felt disgusted by scumbags. In this era of beast girls, a beast tamer could only contract one beast girl, the so-called monogamous system. Of course, Xiao Ye was an exception. HMPH. Xie snorted coldly. Being condemned by so many posts, how many heinous things has this scumbag done? If this person were a student of Kunpeng Academy, he would definitely be expelled. Kunpeng Academy cannot tolerate scumbags. Then, Xie's gaze shifted from the tags to the post title. This person is undoubtedly a scumbag, suggests the school expel Xiao the scumbag. Scumbags are shameful. Ban scumbags. Seeing this, Xie's face grew even colder. Kunpeng Academy likely had produced a major scumbag. But, Xiao the scumbag? Why is the surname Xiao? It shouldn't be Xiao Ye, right? He's upright, helpful, and a model student of Kunpeng Academy. It shouldn't be. Xiao the scumbag must be someone else, just with the surname Xiao. The name Xiao Ye flashed through Xie's mind, but she immediately dismissed it. HMPH. I'll see who this person is. Clicking on the post, the detailed content immediately appeared on the screen. Xiao the scumbag, harming women, may he be struck by lightning, having 3 beast girls and having an ambiguous relationship with a strange maid, he's definitely a scumbag. Screenshot of private service package JPG. This guy deserves to die. We must make our goddess teaching assistant see his true colors. We can't let the goddess be kept in the dark. We suggest the school expel this scumbag Xiao to prevent him from harming innocent girls again. This scumbag is shameful. Ban him. The heavenly pride ranking symbolizes honor and is the face of Kunpeng Academy. How can we let a scumbag be on it? He must be banned. He doesn't deserve it. These are newly posted threads. The student council hasn't had time to delete or block them yet. The posters are all condemning Xiao the scumbag, hoping that teaching assistant Liu Yao will see his true colors, hoping the school will expel him, and hoping the school will ban him. They are filled with strong malice. 3 beast girls, goddess teaching assistant? You're talking about Xiao Ye. Xie's beautiful eyes showed disbelief. Impossible, Xiao Ye is definitely not a scumbag. She browsed through a few more posts and learned the whole story. In summary, a ringleader was loudly proclaiming that Xiao Ye had contracted with 3 beast girls and gone to a maid tavern, injecting severely biased personal opinions into the post to embellish and smear Xiao Ye. Most of the others who followed suit were simply jealous of the teaching assistant's contract and were venting their envy through these posts. The quick-witted Xie quickly deduced the motives of these students. Going to a maid tavern once doesn't mean anything. That ringleader definitely wants to maliciously smear Xiao Ye, ruin his career, and make sure he can't stay in the academy. Anger flashed in Xie's beautiful eyes. With a bang, her fair hand slammed angrily into the water, splashing water onto her fair, rosy shoulders. How despicable. For the first time in centuries, Xie felt anger for someone other than Yun Bing. She was furious. She had to deal with these villains who so readily slandered and defamed a model student. With a whoosh, Xie stood up from the bathtub, her curvaceous and delicate body exposed to the air. Her translucent jade feet touched the ground, and the moisture from her body instantly evaporated with energy. After quickly donning a bulky white robe, she went to the living room and waved her hand. In a flash, Xie appeared on the living room floor, scratching himself with his hand inside his pants. It's so itchy, scratching it will make it better, he muttered to himself, suddenly realizing he was in a different environment. He was wearing pajamas and about to go to sleep, but in the blink of an eye, he was here, as if teleported. Xie. A cold, mature voice came from the sofa ahead. Whose voice was that? Xie looked up and was immediately startled. Ah. Aunt Xie, you wanted to see me? Xie awkwardly took his hand out of his pants, scratching himself was too indecent. Xie was a top-tier supreme, far more powerful than his father, the Vajra Supreme, a low-level supreme, and she was also difficult to get along with. Xie, his nerves taut, nervously sat down on the sofa. Yunzai exuded an icy aura, looking down at Xie like a queen, her voice laced with barely suppressed anger. "Do you know about Xiao Ye's scumbag affair?" Cheng Yi was startled by the cold, angry tone. Upon hearing the words, his entire body tensed. He inwardly cried out, "Oh no, the dean knows about the official website and forum too." But why would the dean, who almost never bothers with these trivial matters, personally question me? A bad premonition rose within him. I'm doomed. The dean probably knows about Uncle Xiao's scumbag deeds, that's why he's angry. Uncle Xiao, you're doomed. I'm powerless this time. In Cheng Yi's mind, he also considered Xiao Ye a scumbag, so when Yunzai questioned him, he couldn't help but assume that Xiao Ye's scumbag deeds had angered Dean Yunzai. HMPH. Speak quickly. Seeing Cheng Yi's bitter face and silence, Yunzai's coldness deepened. A thick chill swept over him, and Cheng Yi shivered. He hurriedly said, "I know about Xiao Ye's scumbag affair, Aunt Yangxi. Xiao Ye is innocent. Please don't be misled by those posts on the official website and forum." Even though Cheng Yi was trembling inside and risked the wrath of the Supreme Goddess, he still spoke up for Xiao Ye out of loyalty, trying to clear his name. Seeing that the trembling Cheng Yi seemed to have misunderstood her meaning, Yangxi chuckled, the coldness in her voice dissipating slightly, and said, "Xiao Ye is a model student in our department. He is of excellent character, upright, and helpful. He is a student we greatly admire. Of course, he can't be a scumbag. I came to you to ask who led the charge in smearing our model student Xiao Ye?" Cheng Yi was shocked. What? So, in the Supreme Goddess Dean's heart, Uncle Xiao was a model student of excellent character, and couldn't possibly be a scumbag? So, the reason they brought him here wasn't to discuss punishing Uncle Xiao, but to find out who the ringleader was. Phew. Cheng Yi breathed a sigh of relief, as if his whole body had relaxed. Then, his eyes lit up with excitement. The person who instigated this evil behavior was in for a world of hurt. The goddess-like Dean was definitely going to take action personally since she was asking this question. Great, this is going to be interesting. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 143 Liu Yang, beat the shit out of him. This person is Yun Xianjun. Although Yun Xianjun posted anonymously, Cheng Yi had the authority to view his real identity. Yun Zai frowned. Yun Xianjun? She felt she had seen this name somewhere before. After thinking carefully, she said coldly, "It's him, Yun Xianjun, the number 1 on the prodigy ranking." Cheng Yi nodded, "Yes, that's him. He's the one who leaked all the information about Xiao Ye." Cheng Yi clicked on her watch, projecting a virtual screen. After a few clicks, a very popular post appeared on the screen. It was a challenge post. "Everyone, I hereby issue a challenge to Xiao Ye, the number 2 on the prodigy ranking. I will fight Xiao Ye at the Void God Tower Arena at 8 a.m. tomorrow. I will defeat him decisively and let Assistant Liu know that the Xiao Ye she has her eye on is not as outstanding as she thinks." Posted by Yun Xianjun, number 1 on the prodigy ranking. Below the post were many comments that boasted about seeing the scumbag Xiao Ye's true colors, and comments that wanted the goddess assistant to see the true face of the scumbag Xiao Ye. After reading the content on the screen, Yangxi sneered, "What a Yun Xianjun. He's a black sheep." Cheng Yi muttered disdainfully, "He's probably gotten arrogance from being number 1 on the prodigy ranking. He dares to challenge Uncle Xiao." Although Uncle Xiao is only a Grandmaster 7-star, his SSS level summoned beast is enough to fight beyond his level. Whether it's Uncle Xiao or himself, if they wanted to compete, Yun Xianjun wouldn't be number 1 on the prodigy ranking. Yangxi's lips curled up. Xiao Ye had been here that afternoon, so she knew that Xiao Ye's realm was Grandmaster. Go back. After Yun Xianjun is defeated tomorrow, I will give him the most severe punishment. She waved her hand, and with a whoosh, sent Cheng Yi back. At this moment, a smile appeared on Yangxi's face. She already had a plan on how to apologize. Everything would wait until tomorrow. Early the next morning. In the bedroom on the 2nd floor of Villa number 10 in the 3-character Lakeview Villa district. Xiao Ye was sleeping soundly, embracing a fragrant body, his head buried in his enormous body, his limbs clinging to Liu Yang like an octopus. Click. Suddenly, the bedroom door was pushed open, and a tall, slender figure rushed in. Then, Xiao Ye felt himself being shaken, and a pleasant but anxious female voice reached his ears. Xiao Ye, wake up. Something's happened. Opening his eyes, Xiao Ye vaguely saw Chang Bingxi's anxious face. What? You're in a bad mood and want compensation? Let me sleep a little longer and I'll compensate you, okay? Hearing this, Chang Bingxi's pretty face flushed, and she pouted, saying sweetly, who wants that so early in the morning? It's not that. Xiao Ye patted her head. Then what is it? Don't worry. Chang Bingxi stomped her foot angrily. Oh. How can I not worry? Something's happened. Someone wants to challenge you at 8 o'clock. Xiao Ye was still very sleepy, his eyes still blurry, and he pouted, unconcerned. Challenge me? Do I have to accept the challenge? No way. Seeing that he still wanted to sleep, Chang Bingxi had no choice but to provide a forced wake-up service. A slender figure pounced on Xiao Ye, pressing her entire body against him and tickling him relentlessly under his armpits. Giggle, giggle, giggle. Xiao Ye couldn't help but laugh out loud, his sleepiness completely gone. Disturbed from his sleep, and slightly grumpy from being woken up, Xiao Ye pulled the blanket over all three of them, covering their heads completely. Then, PFFT. A deafening fart echoed from under the covers. Some farts are both smelly and loud. Immediately, two sweet voices came from under the covers. Oh dear, Xiao Ye, you're so naughty. Ugh. It stinks. Who's cooking flying lion powder? Give me a bowl. Chang Bingxi held her breath, her delicate face flushed red from the stench. Leah, still half asleep, was also awakened by the smell, initially mistaking it for the unique fragrance of flying lion powder. Xiao Ye poked his head out from under the covers, took a breath of fresh air, and said, teaching assistant, does the flying lion powder smell good? From under the covers came Liu Ya's yawning, puzzled voice. It smells good, but why does this flying lion powder also have a hint of pickled cabbage? It smells so sour and stinky, I really want to eat it. Who cooked it? Bingxi and Xiao don't seem to know how to cook. Ah. Sister Liu Ya, you've been tricked. He's talking nonsense. Chang Bingxi quickly pulled back the covers, letting the three of them return to fresh air. And nonsense? Startled, Liu Yan, still half asleep, immediately woke up and looked up to see Xiao Ye and Chang Bingxi staring at her strangely. PFFT. PFFT. Xiao Ye and Chang Bingxi burst out laughing. Liu Ya's cheeks flushed red, and she stammered, would you believe me if I said I was talking in my sleep? The two shook their heads. Ah, I'm so embarrassed. Embarrassed, Liu Ya jumped up, not even putting on her clothes, and ran trembling with fear into the bathroom. 2 minutes later, after washing up and getting dressed, Chang Bingxi pulled Nangong Xiao over, and together with Xiao Ye and Liu, explained what had happened on the official website's forum the previous night. After understanding the cause and effect of the incident, the three beautiful women's faces all showed expressions of extreme anger. Crack. Crack. Nangong Xiao cracked her knuckles, angrily saying, these people are despicable. They maliciously smeared my Xiao Ye. Chang Bingxi nodded in deep agreement. Yes, they're despicable. We need to teach those people a lesson. Liu was also angry, but she noticed a common thread in the posts. She pondered and analyzed. The information in these posts is highly repetitive, all related to the maid tavern. I suspect someone is pulling the strings behind the scenes. But who is that person? Xiao Ye is new to the academy, he shouldn't have offended anyone, right? Chang Bingxi frowned. Liu Ya's eyes darted away, her sixth sense told her that this whole thing seemed to have started because of her. Xiao Ye was checking his Baidu Tiba backend when he discovered a message he received from Chang Yi last night. Uncle Xiao, the person leading the smear campaign against you is Yun Xianjun, the #1 on the prodigy ranking. He even issued a challenge to you. His goal is probably to ruin your reputation, disgrace you, and plant a terrible negative impression of you in everyone's mind at the academy. I know who it is. Xiao Ye spoke up just as the three girls were speculating. Yun Xianjun, #1 on the prodigy ranking. Chang Bingxi covered her mouth angrily. It's him. This guy is despicable. He not only led the smear campaign against my Xiao Ye, but he also dared to issue a challenge. It's obvious he wants to humiliate my Xiao Ye in real life. Nangong Xiao's beautiful eyes blazed with fury. Smearing him online and humiliating him in real life, this guy deserves to die. Liu snorted coldly. Xiao Ye, accept the challenge. Give him a good beating, beat the shit out of him. Xiao Ye nodded and sneered. That's exactly what I'm thinking. Since this guy is so arrogant, there's no need to fight him in the Void God Tower. Let's beat him up in real life. Injuries in the Void God Tower only result in mental fatigue after leaving the tower, nothing more. But injuries in real life, with every punch landing on your flesh, are real injuries. Nangguang Xiao and Cheng Bingxi clenched their red, tender fists and said fiercely, "Yes, beat the shit out of him." Chapter 144 Top Grandmaster, What to do when your legs go weak? Crack. Xiao Ye braced himself on the table with one hand, the surging power within him, which he hadn't yet adapted to, bursting forth and shattering the table. The table lay scattered on the ground in pieces, and Xiao Ye and the two women present were awe-stunned. Cheng Bingxi asked blankly, "Xiao Ye, your cultivation level?" Hiss. "Overnight, your cultivation level has skyrocketed." Liu gasped. Boom. With a burst of violent power, a surge of intent erupted from Xiao Ye's body. Grandmaster Realm, 10th star. Overnight, the mythical five-clawed golden dragon's cultivation level reached the Grandmaster Realm, 10th star, and at the same time, Xiao Ye's cultivation level also returned to the Grandmaster Realm, 10th star. He was only one step away from the venerable realm. Xiao Ye clenched his fist, and with a loud boom, the air was crushed, creating a sonic boom. So strong, he exclaimed. Last night, he hadn't done anything, just slept soundly with Liu Yan in his arms, and yet his cultivation level had reached this level, his power increasing dozens of times. Nangguang Xiao proudly raised her fair chin and said smugly, "This is all thanks to my hard-working cultivation. Xiao Ye, you have to reward me properly." Xiao Ye praised, "No problem, what kind of reward do you want?" Nangguang Xiao suddenly blushed, glanced at his muscular physique with her beautiful eyes, and said coyly, "Oh, let's talk about it tonight." "Xiao Ye? He can tell me what reward you want now, why wait until tonight?" Suddenly, Cheng Bingxi and Liu Ya came over, hugging Xiao Ye on either side, shaking his hands and saying coquettishly, "Xiao Ye, we need to upgrade our templates too, it's urgent." "Yes, we can't wait any longer, the sooner the better." Both girls had witnessed the terrifying power of the mythical template and were extremely eager to upgrade their templates. Xiao Ye raised his hand and smiled, "No problem. Let's do it today. After we beat up the guy named Yun Xianjun, we'll go find the resources to upgrade." Cheng Bingxi and Liu Yan nodded vigorously. It was already 7 o'clock. After tidying up, Xiao Ye and the three girls immediately set off, heading straight to the main gate of Yun Xianjun's Cross Lake View Villa Complex to wait for him. Five-clawed golden dragon, Grandmaster Realm, 10 stars. Three-tailed white fox, Grandmaster Realm, 2 stars. Spirit illusion cat, Grand Venerable Realm, 1 star. Just as the four of them arrived at the main gate of the Cross Lake View Villa Complex, 200 or 300 gifted students were already there, waiting for Yun Xianjun, the top students on the prodigy ranking, to appear. Yun Xianjun truly lives up to his reputation as the top student in our academy. Only he dares to give Xiao the scumbag a good beating in real life. I admire him. I can already imagine Brother Yun beating up Xiao the scumbag in the Void God Tower. Xiao the scumbag is really trash, he deserves to be beaten. They harbor deep malice toward Xiao the scumbag. Suddenly, the villa gate opened, and two ordinary-looking but powerful individuals emerged. The eyes of the 200 or 300 elite students lit up, and they exclaimed, "It's Brother Yun. Brother Yun is out. And Brother Yun's contractor, Xie Ye." They immediately began to flatter him, showering him with praise. At the same time, they belittled Xiao the scumbag. Yun Xianjun raised his hand and pressed down, instantly silencing the crowd. A strong aura of arrogance emanated from him. With his hands behind his back, Yun Xianjun, with his ordinary-looking face, calmly said, "Today, I will defeat Xiao the scumbag and let Assistant Liu Ye realize his true nature. However, what I'm worried about now is that Xiao the scumbag won't dare to accept the challenge." Upon hearing this, the 200 or 300 elite students wholeheartedly agreed with his statement. They expressed their contempt and disdain for Xiao, the scumbag. But suddenly, a cold laugh echoed from the other side of the road, like thunder, bombarding the ears of the 200 or 300 prodigies. "You are Yun Xianjun?" A domineering aura emanated from Xiao Ye, who, along with the three women, strode forward. Thump, thump, thump. Each footstep carried a terrifying force, striking the hearts of the prodigies present. No one dared to meet Xiao Ye's gaze. The arrogant prodigies who had been so cocky just moments before lowered their proud heads, staring at the ground with trepidation. Reaching him, Xiao Ye coldly glanced at Yun Xianzhen. Yun Xianzhen and Xie Ye involuntarily took 2 steps back. The prodigies on both sides of the road were utterly shocked. His power of intent is so domineering. Damn, just looking at him, I feel like I'm facing a top-tier supreme being. Why are my legs going weak? Oh no, this Xiao scumbag is far more terrifying than we imagined. Hiss. He's surrounded by 3 beauties, one of whom is actually a goddess-like teaching assistant. Yun Xianzhen's heart sank, and the power of his Grandmaster level, 10-star Mad Lion intent erupted. Boom. 2 enormous forces of intent collided. PFFT. Yun Xianzhen felt his spirit suffer a heavy blow, his heart trembled violently, and he almost spat out a mouthful of blood. But he forcibly held back, the formal challenge hadn't even started yet, he couldn't afford to make a fool of himself. In the first contest of aura, he lost. But Yun Xianzhen was incredibly stubborn. He didn't want to lose face in front of so many people, so he arrogantly declared, Xiao Ye, do you dare accept the challenge? Xiao Ye's lips curled into a smile. Trying to save face at all costs, accept the challenge? Since you're so eager to challenge me, I think we don't need to go to the Void God Tower. Let's fight right here. Do you dare? There happen to be a few thousand square meters of open space nearby, enough to support a battle between grandmasters. Hiss. This Xiao Ye is too arrogant. Fighting in reality? Damn, his power of intent is terrifying, but he's only second on the prodigy ranking. Brother Yun is a 10-star grandmaster. Xiao Ye is too arrogant. Brother Yun will teach him a lesson. The prodigy students whispered among themselves, but their address for Xiao Ye had already changed from Xiao the scumbag to his full name. Xiao Ye had already used his power of intent to intimidate them. Xie Ye tugged at Yun Xianzhen's hand and whispered, I have a bad feeling. Maybe we should just call it quits. Yun Xianzhen glanced at her uneasy eyes, a surge of anger rising within him. Are you being infatuated again? He snapped. Xie Ye scoffed, you're the one being infatuated. I'm just stating the facts. A blazing fire ignited in Yun Xianzhen's eyes, a bitter feeling rising within him. His contractor wife was praising the enemy, and the target was none other than the very person his contractor wife was infatuated with. He felt utterly humiliated. And to top it all off, his dream goddess, the beautiful teaching assistant Leah, was intimately entwined with Xiao Ye, whispering sweet nothings in his ear, making him even angrier. So Yun Xianzhen simply and bluntly shouted, Ha, Xiao Ye, since you want to get beaten up, I'll grant your wish. He immediately activated his contract power, transforming into a summoned beast form with a helpless Xie Ye. SS rank Golden Lion. Grandmaster 10 stars. Roar. A golden lion, 10 meters tall and 20 meters long, appeared on the ground, roaring angrily. It deliberately went to an empty open space, suppressing its rage, and said, Kid, still not transforming? Got scared? Xiao Ye smiled, exchanged a glance with Nangong Xiao, and simultaneously activated their contract power to summon the mythical template, the 5-clawed Supreme Golden Dragon. Roar. A clear and resonant dragon roar came from the sky. The sky darkened, and a golden eastern dragon, blotting out the sun, appeared above everyone's heads. Its mouth could swallow a strong ox whole, its whiskers were 40 meters long, its golden vertical pupils resembled giant dragon lanterns, and its long, narrow body was an astonishing 1,000 meters long. It had rabbit eyes, deer antlers, a bull's mouth, a camel's head, tiger paws, eagle claws, fish scales, and a snake's body. A true dragon had appeared. Chapter 145 The True Dragon Appears. Everyone is shocked. Seeing the 5-clawed golden dragon, like a primordial beast, looming over the sky, the immense difference in size brought a strong sense of oppression, causing everyone present to gasp in astonishment. Hiss. So big, so long. It's darkening the sky, is it real? Is this really the size of a Grandmaster 7-star? The observing prodigies clicked their tongues in disbelief. But it was the truth, and they had no choice but to believe it. How is this possible? The 10-meter-tall, 20-meter-long golden lion on the open ground nearly popped its eyes out. As far as it knew, only those at the Supreme Realm or above could reach a size of over 1,000 meters, but Xiao Ye, the second-ranked in the prodigy ranking, was only a Grandmaster 7-star. Roar. After a brief moment of shock, the golden lion roared, Large size doesn't mean strong combat power. It's just paper, it'll crumble at the slightest touch. The students, hearing this, changed their minds and excitedly encouraged him. Brother Yoon, get him. Tear him to pieces. Yet, he looks intimidating, but he might just crumble. Brother Yoon's eyes are sharp, he saw right through him. Encouraged by hundreds of people, the Grandmaster-level Golden Lion, now full of confidence, roared, its limbs straining, and leaped into the sky with a thud, its powerful, sharp claws raised high. How can the light of a firefly compete with the brilliance of the moon? These words calmly uttered from the massive head of the five-clawed golden dragon. Then, the surging power of the supreme attribute erupted from its enormous, narrow body, crushing towards the golden lion. Boom! A thunderous roar echoed through the heavens and earth, like a bolt from the blue. Supreme attribute, arrogant, domineering, supreme, dominating all. In that instant, the leaping golden lion felt as if the entire world was rejecting him, as if the supreme will of heaven and earth had descended upon him. It was as if he alone was fighting against the entire world. His expression changed drastically, his whole body tensed, his heart trembled violently, and his limbs became weak and powerless. How could it be so strong? Yoon Xianzhen was terrified, his heart filled with fear, and he already had the intention to retreat. The golden lion was still being propelled upwards by the momentum of its leap. In that split second, a flash of white light appeared in the sky, and the five-clawed golden dragon moved. In the blink of an eye, a dragon's tail whip struck the golden lion. Bang bang bang. The golden lion, 100 times faster than when it came, was struck and crashed into the ground. A series of sonic booms that broke the sound barrier resounded. Boom. With a crash, it smashed into the ground, creating a bottomless crater. Dust filled the air, and no one could see clearly. But then, a blood-curdling scream of agony erupted from the deep pit, sending a chill down the spines of the assembled prodigy students. It was the cry of the golden lion. The students exchanged glances, all seeing the shock in each other's eyes. The five-clawed golden dragon was terrifyingly powerful, crushing the number one ranked prodigy, the golden lion. This was almost a one-sided battle. Victory was no longer in doubt. But just as the dust settled, a figure, its eyes filled with terror, shakily crawled out of the pit. It was the golden lion. It was battered and bruised, blood streaming down its skin, its eyes bloodshot. The assembled prodigy students exclaimed. Brother Yoon hasn't lost yet. Brother Yoon is mighty. That's right, how could Brother Yoon possibly lose? Let's take him down. They cheered, but the golden lion's next words completely shocked them. Xiao Ye, I'm no match for you, I admit defeat. With his last remaining strength, the golden lion uttered his final words before collapsing unconscious. His summoned beast form automatically reverted, transforming into two unconscious figures, Yoon Xianzhen and Xie Ye. Several gifted students skilled in healing rushed over, exclaiming after examination, quick, get them to the emergency room. Yoon Xianzhen and Xie Ye have comminuted fractures, internal bleeding, and permanent muscle damage. They're in critical condition. We need to get them out of here quickly, a second's delay and they'll be dead. The group carried Yoon Xianzhen and Xie Ye, rushing out of sight and sprinting towards the emergency room. The gifted students. Above, the five-clawed golden dragon watched this scene without intervening. The academy had explicit rules against killing each other. Severely injuring Yoon Xianzhen was already the maximum they could do. Moreover, after this show of force, the gifted students dared not continue to slander him. The students, realizing the power of the five-clawed golden dragon, fell silent, standing frozen in place, terrified that it would tear them to pieces with a single claw. Liu leaped out, hovering above them, her voice carrying far and wide. Students, remember not to blindly follow the crowd and become keyboard warriors, slandering others. Keyboard warriors will be punished accordingly. Yoon Xianzhen and Xie Ye are typical examples. I, Liu Yan, also bear responsibility for Yoon Xianzhen's ability to incite this evil trend. You must be curious why I chose to form a contract with Xiao Ye. Well, I'll tell you today, because the goddess teaching assistant spoke, drawing the attention of all the students. Because Xiao Ye is exceptionally talented. Not only in character but also in his talent as a beast tamer, he surpasses everyone else in the world. Hearing this, all the students were shaken. Surpass everyone else in the world. How much did she love Xiao Ye for the goddess to utter such shameful words? They all clearly understood that the goddess teaching assistant already had someone she loved, someone who was taken. Sigh. Many sighed. Whether Xiao Ye was a scumbag or not was no longer important. What mattered was that the goddess teaching assistant Xiao Ye trusted him. No matter how much they slandered him, it was useless. Looking at the majestic five-clawed golden dragon in the sky, a sense of defeat rose in the hearts of the male prodigies present. The five-clawed golden dragon had stolen the dream goddess of countless students and won the heart of a beauty. The five-clawed golden dragon had instantly killed the 10-star Grandmaster Golden Lion. Whether he was the number one in the world was another matter, but he was undoubtedly the number one on the Kunpeng prodigy ranking. With a flash of white light, the five-clawed golden dragon disappeared, returning to human form, transforming into Xiao Ye and Nangong Xiao. Liu wanted to say something, but Xiao Ye returned to the ground and smiled calmly. Everyone, go back now, it's time for class. As far as he could see, no prodigy dared to meet his gaze. Xiao Ye could feel their fear and respect at this moment. More than 200 prodigies clasped their fists and were about to leave. But then, with a whoosh, the entire space froze, the temperature plummeted, and everyone was paralyzed, feeling a chill run through their bodies. Xiao Ye looked up and, at the end of the road, a beautiful figure in a bulky white robe slowly walked towards them. Her movements were slow, but the distance she covered seemed to shrink, each step spanning hundreds of meters, and she reached everyone in just 2 or 3 steps. That icy aura, it's the Dean. It's the goddess Dean Yunzai. My god, I actually saw the Kunpeng Supreme Dean Yunzai. The talented students present exclaimed in surprise. Chapter 146 The Supreme Being appears before us, and a devastating punishment is imminent. Xie, the Dean of Kunpeng Academy, is the second-ranked top-tier student in Shanghai. She rarely appears in the world, rarely engaging in worldly affairs. Most students haven't seen her even once in the 4 years since enrolling, not even a glimpse from afar. Therefore, Dean Xie's appearance in public caused a great stir. But the Dean usually doesn't manage academy affairs. Why is she here? Could it be to punish Xiao Ye, that scumbag, and expel him? This thought, once it arose, uncontrollably flooded his mind. A few of the more talented students who were dissatisfied with Xiao Ye became excited, ready to see him make a fool of himself. Xie glanced around with her beautiful eyes, gave a cold snort, and said in a cold voice, "Classmates, this matter cannot be left like this." Xiao Ye's heart skipped a beat. He knew he was in trouble. He had visited Xie's villa yesterday, and her disdainful expression was still fresh in his mind. She considered him a promiscuous, shameless scumbag who casually seduced women. What was this old woman trying to do? Was she trying to humiliate him in public? Xiao Ye clenched his fists, thinking to himself, this old woman is going through menopause. She's probably lacking male attention. She's not only heartless, but she's also never given a smile. Perhaps sensing Xiao Ye's unease, Liu gave him a reassuring look. Xiao Ye pursed his lips, hoping this old woman, Yunzai, wouldn't go too far. Otherwise, when he, the mythical five-clawed Supreme Golden Dragon, reaches the Supreme Realm, he'll definitely rise up, pin her down, and teach her a lesson. Liu rolled her eyes at him. Judging from his expression, she knew he was thinking about something vulgar. Under everyone's gaze, Yunzai waved her hand. A flash of white light appeared. Yun Xianjun and Xie Ye, who were being resuscitated, appeared on the ground, various instruments and tubes still attached to their bodies. The students were shocked. What was she trying to do? Yunzai's next action cleared up everyone's doubts. Yunzai took out a bottle of light blue, unidentified medicine, opened the cap, and sprinkled it on the 2 people on the ground. 10 seconds later, the 2 slowly woke up, their bodies aching sorely that they couldn't even stand up. They felt like they were about to explode just from taking a breath. Dean. Hiss, Dean. Upon seeing their surroundings, Yun Xianjun and Xie Ye were shocked. Yunzai's beautiful eyes coldly stared at them, and she said in a cold voice, "Tell us your motives for smearing Xiao Ye, the whole story," and apologized to Xiao Ye on the spot. Faced with a top-tier supreme being, the 2 trembled. Looking at her cold gaze, Yun Xianjun felt an overwhelming fear and stammered, HMPH. Yunzai snorted coldly, "I don't want to repeat myself." What? The more vulnerable Xie Ye burst into tears, sobbing as she recounted the whole story, including the incident of the man in black giving her the intent crystal. After recounting the events in detail, Xie Ye wiped away her tears and said guiltily, "It's all our fault for being too eager to break through to the Grandmaster realm. We were blinded by the power of the intent crystal, which led us to constantly smear Xiao Ye. Xiao Ye, I apologize to you. Looking at Xiao's apologetic eyes, Xiao Ye was full of surprise. So Dean Yangxi had come to find out the truth. He had wronged her, old woman. Waving his hand, Xiao Ye asked, was it all done by that man in black? And was it him who provided the information? Do you know who this man in black is? Yao, he instructed us to do this, and he also provided the information. We don't know who he is. Xiao Ye frowned. Liu stroked her fair chin. Perhaps she knew who this man in black was. With a supreme ruler before them, and the situation beyond their control, Yun Xianjun lowered his proud head and said, Xiao Ye, it was indeed us who did this. We have no complaints about the Academy's punishment, we are willing to accept it. Knowing the whole story, the assembled prodigies were in an uproar. It turned out that the one who led the smear campaign against Xiao Ye was none other than Yun Xianjun, who had issued the challenge. And behind him was an unidentified man in black. Xiao Ye looked curiously at Yun Zai. This old woman had called him a promiscuous scumbag yesterday. What punishment would she impose? Under Xiao Ye's gaze, Yun Zai recalled the scene of licking golden blood yesterday, and her pretty face flushed slightly. Ahem. Yun Zai coldly looked at Yun Xianjun and the other man, saying, after you recover, you will serve on the front lines for a year, using the blood of the alien race to wash away your wicked intentions. Schemes and framing should be used against the alien race, not against our good student Xiao Ye. Go to the front lines to fight against the alien race for a year. Upon hearing this, all the students present trembled, their eyes filled with terror. The front lines of battle, that was a place where people could die. This death was real, not the kind of death in the Void God Tower where one could be resurrected infinitely. Yun Xianjun and Jiao's bodies jolted violently, their eyes filled with despair. We are willing to accept punishment. Yun Zai nodded, waving her hand to teleport the two back to the emergency room for continued treatment. The light blue potion had only temporarily awakened them, it had little effect on their injuries. Just when the students thought the matter was over, Yun Zai spoke again, now that the culprits have been punished, it's your turn. All students who follow the post will have their credit requirement doubled. Students who came here to watch the spectacle will not only have their credit requirement doubled, but will also have to copy the school rules 1,000 times. Teachers will be specifically monitoring the progress of the punishment. The students? After a long silence, their wails erupted. Ah. No, Dean. Double the workload. I won't graduate. Ugh, I hate writing. Copying the school rules 1,000 times is worse than death. Xiao Ye, I was wrong. I'll kowtow and apologize. Yes, Xiao Ye, please persuade the dean to rescind the punishment. Will kowtow and apologize. Xiao Ye remained unmoved. Keyboard warriors also have to be responsible for their words and actions. Do they show mercy when they're blindly following the trend and slandering others? No, they only indulge in venting their biased opinions. Yun Zai snorted coldly, dispelling the special freeze and restoring the students' mobility. She said, go back to class. Anyone who hasn't left by now will have their punishment doubled. Hearing this, the talented students present ran off in a flash, afraid of being too slow and displeasing the dean. After the scene quieted down, Xiao Ye grabbed Nangguang Xiao and Cheng Bingxi's hands, wanting to leave as well to go to class. But then a pair of jade-like feet appeared in front of him. His gaze moved upwards, revealing a bulky white robe and a stunningly beautiful, aloof face. Xiao Ye paused, then chuckled, old lady, what are the dean's instructions? Thank goodness, the old woman slipped out, almost saying it aloud. Yun Zai stared at him with a half-smile, saying, Xiao Ye, are you satisfied with this outcome? Chapter 147 What's it like to be caught red-handed by the goddess Dean for talking badly? Hearing this, Xiao Ye was filled with surprise. This goddess-like, icy Dean, who yesterday had been so aloof and disdainful, was now so approachable, even asking him if he was satisfied? However, given the question from the top-tier Dean, Xiao Ye smiled and replied, satisfied, very satisfied. Yun Zai smiled, a smile like a melting snow lotus from the Xianshan mountains, a delicate flower blooming. Liya, standing to the side and behind, was stunned. The emotionless, icy Dean was actually smiling? Cheng Bingxi and Nangguang Xiao were both dumbfounded. After a brief moment of hesitation, Xiao Ye voiced his confusion, saying, Dean, why do all the students in the academy think I'm a promiscuous scumbag, and even yesterday a certain icy Dean? Before he could finish, Yunzai interrupted, stop. Yesterday is yesterday, today is today. As a model student of my Kunpeng Academy, you are upright, of excellent character, and exceptionally talented. You have absolutely nothing to do with the word scumbag, and I will not allow such a good student to be smeared. A model student, of excellent character? Xiao Ye stared in disbelief. Who's the model student? Yunzai smiled faintly. You. Xiao Ye suddenly realized, oh, so I'm the model student who has nothing to do with that scumbag? He felt a little pleased, but puzzled. Had the sun risen in the west? The contrast between her attitude yesterday and today was so stark. So Xiao Ye tentatively asked, Dean, are you sure? Yunzai's beautiful eyes widened. If I say it's you, then it is. Anyone who disagrees, let them come find me. Xiao Ye said righteously, Dean, you truly have discerning eyes. You've recognized my true nature hidden beneath the surface. Yes, I, Xiao Ye, am the kind of model student who is upright, helpful, and of excellent character. You are. Yunzai was very satisfied. Xiao Ye's words meant that he had let go of his prejudices from yesterday, which made her feel satisfied and pleased. Liu chuckled and gave him a charmingly disdainful look. He got the benefit and was still acting innocent. Nangguang Xiao and Cheng Bingxi nervously clutched Xiao Ye's clothes, not daring to utter a sound. Xiao Ye, Dean, we'll head back now. With Yangxi's permission, Xiao Ye and the three women headed towards their residence. The three of them seemed to be getting along very well, just like Yunbing and I, Yangxi murmured to herself, watching their departing figures. But in the era of beast girls, it was always a monogamous system. Would the three of them be jealous of each other while sharing one husband? She couldn't understand. Suddenly, Yangxi frowned. Perhaps it was because she had frozen this space earlier, mobilizing some of her Taoist energy, affecting the already unstable template. Her emotional nerves were now numb and disconnected, and she was gradually becoming cold again. The emotions she could experience, the satisfaction and pleasure in her heart, were gradually diminishing, as if they were about to disappear. No. Yangxi panicked, raising her hand to tightly clutch her heart, but even through her full chest, she could feel the temperature turning icy cold. A few days ago, after Xiao Ye massaged her, he said the effect of resolving the defect would last for 10 days to half a month. However, after she used the power of a top-tier supreme being, it was shortened to 2 or 3 days. After figuring out the reason, Yangxi fell into deep unease. She didn't want to lose this hard-won emotional experience, and she didn't want to go back to being that cold, unapproachable robot. Xiao Ye, I need you. After leaving those words, she disappeared into the back of the space and flew towards Xiao Ye's address. When she arrived, she found Xiao Ye and the other three discussing something, still using words like old woman, menopause, and Dean. Were they talking about Yunbing, or me? Yangxi, whose emotional senses hadn't been completely numbed and who still had a little curiosity, decided to hide in the back of the space and listen. In Villa number 10 of the three-character Lakeside Villa District, on the first floor, in the living room, Xiao Ye, Liu Ya, Cheng Bingxi, and Nangguang Xiao were talking around a small table. Xiao Ye looked surprised and said, Xiao, your great-grandmother changes her face really fast. I went to her villa yesterday and that old woman gave me a dressing down, saying I was a promiscuous scumbag with no boundaries, and that I flirt with women all the time. I don't know if she's going through menopause, but she told me not to contact Sister Yunbing anymore. But today she's calling me a model student. Nangguang Xiao's face changed upon hearing this, and she said nervously, Xiao Ye, she's not my great-grandmother. Sister Yunbing told me not to call her great-grandmother, but sister, if she finds out we're talking badly about her behind her back, calling her an old woman, she might skin us alive. Xiao Ye didn't care. It's okay, we didn't mention her name. Even if she's a supreme being, she couldn't possibly sense it. Besides, she's almost 2,000 years old. What else could she be but an old woman? Yangxi, on the other side of the space, darkened her face and gritted her teeth. So the old woman Xiao Ye was talking about was her. No woman wants to be called old. But Xiao Ye not only called her an old woman, he even said she was going through menopause? How infuriating. Liu rolled her eyes at him and revealed the truth. Yesterday I went to the dean to explain and cleared up the misunderstanding. Xiao Ye, you need to be careful what you say. The dean just praised you and punished those students for you, and you turn around and call her an old woman? Is that appropriate? Yunzai felt a little better. It was Liu Yang, this mature and sophisticated assistant, who spoke up. But Xiao Ye's next words almost made her stomp her foot in anger. So you were the one who explained. Xiao Ye suddenly realized, but then he sighed. But that old woman told me not to contact Sister Yunbing anymore. Sigh, it seems I won't be able to see our goddess Vice-Dean anymore. Why shouldn't I say that? Liu frowned. The dean's will was beyond her control. Crack 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 crack. Behind the space, Yunzai gritted her teeth in anger, her cold and beautiful face filled with fury. Old woman, old woman, old woman. Ah! That little bastard Xiao Ye, he's really infuriating. Young Xie stomped her foot in anger. She appeared behind Xiao Ye, radiating coldness. Xiao Ye was still speaking when he suddenly felt a chill run through him, as if he had fallen into an ice cellar. Huh? I only said a few words. Up, why are you all looking behind me? The three women's smiles froze, their eyes fixed on what was behind him. A bad feeling flashed through Xiao Ye's mind, and he widened his eyes, twisting his neck to look behind him. Xiao Ye was startled, seeing a cold, deathly smile. It was a forced smile, filled with a chilling aura. Hi, Dean, hello. Xiao Ye's face stiffened as he greeted her. HMPH. Young Xie snorted, grabbing Xiao Ye's shoulder with one hand, her voice icy. Come with me, I need to talk to you. With that, the two of them vanished in an instant. This, teaching assistant, will Xiao Ye be alright? Cheng Bingxi asked anxiously. Liu gasped, then said uncertainly, he should be alright. Chapter 148, Forming a Contract with Yangxi? Villa number 001 in the Lakeside Villa District. Yangxi and Xiao Ye appeared in the living room on the first floor. Being stared at coldly, Xiao Ye panicked. He had been talking badly about her behind her back, and now he'd been caught red-handed. Dean, what a coincidence, we were just about to praise you, Xiao Ye said, scratching his head. Yangxi, still angry, stared coldly at him. Praise? Praise me as an old woman? Up, Dean, let me explain. Xiao Ye crouched on the sofa, feeling extremely cautious. Yangxi interrupted, no need to explain. She took out a mirror and faced herself. Instantly, a stunningly beautiful face appeared in the mirror, exquisite features, delicate skin, bright eyes and white teeth, breathtakingly beautiful. Although her expression was somewhat cold, there wasn't a single wrinkle. She raised her hand and pinched her rosy, fair cheeks, which seemed to glow with a hint of moisture. Old woman, she murmured, then her gaze suddenly fixed on Xiao Ye, and she said coldly, do you have some misunderstanding about me? Xiao Ye was silent for a few seconds, then laughed awkwardly, perhaps there really is a slight misunderstanding. Yunzai's beautiful eyes narrowed, Xiao Ye thought he could try to argue in reverse, I never paid attention to the dean's appearance before, only her age, so I one-sidedly called her an old woman. But now that I've witnessed her charm, I'm simply amazed. 2 words, awesome. No woman would resist being praised for her appearance, and Yunzai was no exception. She looked back at the mirror, at her stunning face, and said with a strange expression, am I awesome? Xiao Ye nodded vigorously, yes, yes, yes. Yunzai felt that this adjective was strange, but she couldn't quite put her finger on why. Seeing her still wearing a cold expression, Xiao Ye assumed she was still angry. He decided to go all out, declaring with an air of authority, Dean, if you still care about those words, then punish me. Even if it means sacrificing my bull, referring to a male beast, it's fine. Yunzai rolled her eyes at him, her anger having subsided considerably. She then began the formal conversation, saying, I won't stop you from contacting Yunbing in the future. I also won't stop you from forming a contract with Yunbing, but before that, I have a question for you. Xiao Ye was overjoyed, Dean, please ask. I'll answer everything I know. Yunzai frowned, call me Sister Yunzai. Xiao Ye, Sister Yunzai. Yunzai asked with curiosity in her beautiful eyes, you can solve the physical defects of beast girls, and you can also solve the template problem? The template problem, since she and Yunbing ascended to the supreme level over 1,000 years ago, they had tried many methods, but not only had they failed to find an effective solution, they had also discovered that the template problem had worsened. Xiao Ye was shocked. How could Dean Yunzai know about such a confidential matter? Did Liu Ya tell her? Seeing he couldn't hide it any longer, Xiao Ye directly admitted, that's right. I have a way to permanently solve the physical defects and template problems. Yunzai's pupils shrank. What Liu Ya said was actually true. Xiao Ye really could solve the template problem. Unbelievable, utterly unbelievable. The Beast Girl awakening template is a law of this universe, and no one can change it. If the template has a problem, it involves some supreme law of the universe. Even if a Saint Realm expert above the Supreme Realm came, they wouldn't be able to repair or solve it. But Xiao Ye, who is only at the Grandmaster Realm, can solve the template problem. Seeing her so surprised, Xiao Ye felt he had spoken too confidently, so he spoke again. The physical defects are caused by the template problem. It's a negative effect caused by the template's instability. Temporarily solving the physical defects only requires massage. But to permanently solve the physical defects, the template problem must be completely resolved. But solving the template problem not only requires me to spend an incredibly high price, but I also can't guarantee success on the first try. The probability of failure is still very high. Yunzai raised her hand. So, forming a contract with you can increase the probability of success? Forming a contract increases the probability? Xiao Ye frowned. What kind of statement was this? Did Liu say that? Since it was Liu who said it, he didn't need to correct her. The more demanding the conditions were, the less trouble he would have later. So he simply replied, no. Yunzai was surprised. Xiao Ye, forming a contract with me is just the foundation. Without a contract, the probability of success is 0. Only by forming a contract with me can I have the chance to solve the template problem. Yunzai suddenly understood. Even after forming a contract with him, the probability of success was very small, despite the high cost. Without a contract, he had no way to proceed. Perhaps Xiao Ye was the reincarnation of an ancient emperor who mastered some kind of supreme law? No wonder he possessed a life level comparable to the Emperor realm after the 5-claw golden dragon mutated. Perhaps, deep within his body, he was inheriting the innate skills of an ancient emperor from his previous life. This would explain why he could contract multiple beast girls and solve the template problem. Suddenly, Yangxi asked nervously, do you have a way to solve the template problem between Yunbing and me? Xiao Ye nodded, yes. Yangxi's face lit up. Xiao Ye stated the condition, but you have to form a contract with me first. Can't we break the contract after the template is repaired? Yangxi looked at him expectantly. Xiao Ye's lips twitched. You want to get something for nothing? He shook his head and denied it. No, forming a contract is the foundation. Only by combining it with a treasure can your templates be stabilized. After the contract is broken, the template problem will still exist, or even become more serious. Yangxi fell silent. She had to form a contract with him, and it couldn't be broken. That meant she had to be bound to him. Yangxi was struggling internally. She personally didn't have any resistance to forming a contract with Xiao Ye, but she couldn't do it if Yunbing and she formed a contract with Xiao Ye together. What was that? Sharing a husband? She couldn't do that now, for the time being. She also couldn't compete with Yunbing for a man. A few days ago, when Yunbing went to the other dimensional space, he told her that he had a way to solve the template problem, but he needed to obtain several rule fragment crystals. It's likely that Yunbing had already discussed this with Xiao Ye, and after returning, they would form a contract and resolve the template issue. Seeing the struggle on Yunzai's face, Xiao Ye chuckled inwardly. You want to exploit loopholes and get something for nothing? No way. Not even Yunbing. Yunzai remained silent for a long time. Xiao Ye got up to leave, smiling. Sister Yunzai, are you done asking? If you're done, I'm going back. Bye-bye. As Xiao Ye reached the door, Yunzai's voice came. Wait. Xiao Ye was taken aback. Could it be that Dean Yunzai was willing to form a contract with him? Yunzai's figure flashed and appeared in front of him, pleading, I just used the power of the Supreme Realm, and my physical defects have relapsed, so I'd like to ask you for a massage. Chapter 149, You only massaged my feet, and you redeemed it all month? Xiao Ye stopped and opened the template adjuster's viewing function, template detection and progress SSS level Kunpeng template, upgradable, problem, incorrect crystal type of rule fragments absorbed during template awakening, causing template instability and inability to form a contract physical defects caused by template instability, numbness of emotional nerves. As cultivation level increases, one will eventually become a person without emotions, relapsed. New human body massage manual, available. It had indeed relapsed. Based on the results from the template adjuster, Xiao Ye knew the situation. However, on the surface, he looked puzzled and asked, "Are you sure? After the last massage, the negative Taoist aura of template instability has been removed. It should last at least 10 days. Yunzai indicated she was certain. Xiao Ye frowned, grabbed the soft, boneless hand of the goddess Teen Yunzai, and returned to the sofa, saying, "Perhaps your perception is wrong, let me check." Yunzai, unaware of his purpose, allowed him to examine her. Xiao Ye's expression was serious. He pretended to examine her, pinching and pressing her hand here and there, seemingly performing a series of procedures. Her small hands were fair and white, with long, slender fingers and neatly trimmed nails. A minute later, a blush rose on Yangxi's face, and she asked, "Are you done checking?" Xiao Ye shook his head and continued examining, playing with her for several more minutes, his brows furrowing deeper and deeper until they formed a deep frown. Seeing his serious expression, Yangxi couldn't help but worry. Hiss. Xiao Ye suddenly gasped, his face grave. "This is bad." Yangxi's heart skipped a beat, her face tensing, her beautiful eyes fixed on him. Xiao Ye glanced at her tense face, chuckled inwardly, and thought, "How, this little girl looked down on me yesterday, making me incredibly embarrassed. I'll tease her today." With a serious expression, Xiao Ye rolled up Yangxi's white robe sleeves and pulled her down to her fair shoulders. Then, he pretended to examine, play with her for another 5 minutes. Her fair arms were flawless, like a work of art, and exuded a unique and subtle fragrance. Yangxi, worried about the defect, looked tense but didn't stop Xiao Ye from examining, playing with it. A few minutes later, Xiao Ye withdrew his hand, his expression serious, and said, "The situation is more serious than last time." At this moment, Yangxi seemed less like the aloof, supreme being and more like a small woman suffering from a serious illness. She asked worriedly, "Can you fix it?" Xiao Ye met her pure, clear eyes for over 10 seconds before slowly saying, "Yes." Yangxi was overjoyed and relaxed completely. But then Xiao Ye changed the subject, however. Yangxi's heart, which had relaxed, jumped again. "But what? Speak up." Xiao Ye laughed, "It costs more money." Yunzai. She rolled her eyes at him speechlessly, then pouted, her beautiful eyes gleaming, and said, "No problem, last time the reward was an instant teleportation mini pixie. This time I can give you something even better. A one-time use supreme level special shield, a one-time use supreme level special attack, or a supreme level magical beast crystal core, anything is fine." This guy is so mean, he didn't explain things clearly at once, making her heart race with worry. Hearing the types of rewards, Xiao Ye's eyes lit up. Good stuff, all good stuff. Supreme level one-time use items, whether offensive or defensive, would cost at least a high-grade Grand Venerable Crystal Core, or even a low-grade Supreme level Crystal Core, to buy on the market. Xiao Ye patted his firm chest and assured her, "Sister Yangxi, I can fix even the most serious flaws, leave it to me." A smile appeared on Yangxi's beautiful face. "I believe you, let's begin now." Xiao Ye nodded and retrieved a new massage manual from the template adjuster, capable of temporarily resolving the flaws. After reviewing it in his mind, Xiao Ye frowned, realizing something was wrong. He had told Yangxi the situation was more serious, but in reality, her condition was better than before. The acupoints in this massage manual were simpler. He only needed to massage her feet, whereas last time it was her entire legs. As his thoughts raced, a flawless white body suddenly appeared in his vision. Yangxi had directly removed her bulky white robe, now completely naked. According to Xiao Ye, this time the situation was more serious than last time, so she believed it should be a full-body massage. Xiao Ye was stunned. This was a true work of art, a perfect figure with golden proportions, and a body entirely white. But what followed was a dilemma. The goddess-like Dean was completely naked, was he only going to massage her feet? "Follow me." Yangxi swayed her sexy waist as she led Xiao Ye into a bedroom. "I'm ready." She lay there, her long eyelashes trembling slightly, indicating her inner turmoil. Her small, delicate ears were bright red, she could be shy too. "Okay." Xiao Ye decided to go all out. Afraid his hands would get marinated, he put on gloves and began massaging according to the massage manual's instructions. These fair, tender feet not only had no unpleasant odor but also exuded a subtle, pleasant fragrance. Rubbing, hammering, pricking, kneading. Xiao Ye had already reached the level of a massage master, proficient in all massage techniques. Simultaneously, the low-level treasure within the system space, the Zhuanhuang gemstone, was continuously absorbing the negative Taoist energy that Xiao Ye had drawn from Yangxi's body. After the essence was extracted, it released a ball of pure Taoist energy that floated in the system space. Yangxi felt incredibly comfortable and almost cried out, but thankfully she managed to hold it in, otherwise she would have been mortified seeing the fine sweat on Xiao Ye's forehead. She took out a bottle of golden potion from her storage space and handed it to him, saying, "Resolving the flaws must have taken a lot of energy and stamina, right? Drink some tonic to replenish it." In Yangxi's mind, he must have just mobilized the power of some supreme law to remove the negative Dao principles caused by the template's instability. Xiao Ye, unaware of her assumptions, and feeling guilty, solemnly accepted the golden potion and opened the cap, gulping it down. Burp. He let out a satisfied burp. Xiao Ye felt his blood and qi boiling. This was incredibly nourishing, comparable to 1,000-year-old ginseng, and he almost got a nosebleed. Chapter 150 Supreme Recommendation, Holy Spirit's Secret Realm. Xiao Ye would never admit that the cold sweat was due to guilt. He patted his stomach and laughed. "That last set almost made me collapse." This supply came just in time, perfectly offsetting the exertion. Yunzai's beautiful eyes quietly gazed at him. Perhaps because her physical defect had been temporarily resolved, her icy aura remained, but the bone-chilling coldness had lessened considerably. Moreover, a blush rose on her exquisite face. Recalling the scene just now, she felt shy. At this moment, Xiao Ye, the icy dean, was beautiful. The millennia-old ice had melted, revealing a touch of humanity. Giving him the medicine and showing concern for his exhaustion was a milestone-like turning point. Under Xiao Ye's unwavering gaze, Yunzai shifted the drum slightly, feeling as if she were being admired by him without any concealment, just like before. Xiao Ye coughed, his old face turning red, and said, "Dean, what about the payment?" This guy wasn't satisfied with just getting something out of it. He had looked, touched, and taken advantage of her, and now he was asking for payment? Yangxi's face turned cold. "Call me Sister Yangxi." "Xiao Ye, Sister Yangxi." Yangxi's smile returned, and with a wave of her hand, 3 items appeared on the table. She extended her slender fingers and introduced them one by one. This red item is a one-time attack item. When used, it releases a special blade that automatically locks onto the enemy. Its power is equivalent to a full-force attack from a low-level supreme. This blue item is a one-time defense item. When used, it releases a special barrier shield that can negate a full-force attack from a low-level supreme. After release, it lasts for 1 hour if not attacked. And this last one is a monster core, a low-grade supreme core from within a low-level supreme monster. Xiao Ye rubbed his hands excitedly, his eyes shining, and said, "Can I have all of these?" Yangxi rolled her eyes at him. "You wish. You can only choose one. These items took me a lot of effort to make." This. Xiao Ye looked at the 3 good things. He wanted them all. Yangxi chuckled and said, "Choose one first. We can get the rest later. I still need a massage from you in 10 days. Okay." Xiao Ye picked up the blue item, a defensive item for survival. "This one." Yangxi waved her hand, putting away the other 2, including the black gloves Xiao Ye had just taken off. These gloves had been in close contact with her and carried many of her auras. It was best to keep them. The matter was over, but Xiao Ye didn't leave immediately. Instead, he asked about something else. "Sister Yangxi, do you know where the life and destruction attribute magical beasts are most abundant?" Cheng Bingxi's SSS-Level Nine-Tailed Celestial Fox template required 50 Creation-type Rule Fragment Crystals, 50 Life-type Rule Fragment Crystals, and 50 Destruction-type Rule Fragment Crystals for upgrade. Life and Destruction-type beasts were extremely rare. They weren't even available in the combat base. Left with no other option, Xiao Ye had to ask the top-tier Supreme Dean, Yangxi. "Life attribute, destruction attribute?" Yangxi raised an eyebrow. Xiao Ye nodded, then complained, "I wonder if they were all wiped out. The library records show the former combat base existed, but now there's nothing left." Yangxi's lips curled into a smile. The Holy Spirit's secret realm contains a large number of magical beasts with these 2 attributes, almost extinct elsewhere. Why extinct? Because she captured these 2 types of magical beasts across the country when she was bored, until they were all extinct, and then threw them all into the Holy Spirit's secret realm. And she, Yangxi, is the owner of the Holy Spirit secret realm. Owning a secret realm that can infinitely generate abundant resources, her net worth is terrifying. She's a top-tier rich woman. Xiao Ye was delighted. The Holy Spirit secret realm? A secret realm controlled by the state? It opens every month, and you can enter with just a ticket. Young Xie shook her head. The Holy Spirit secret realm is a private secret realm, only opening once a year. The cultivation level is limited to the Grandmaster realm, and the ticket is a supreme recommendation quota. The next opening time is in 3 months. Xiao Ye's face darkened. 3 months later? That's too long. Young Xie narrowed her beautiful eyes and asked curiously, do you really need these 2 kinds of magical beast materials? Xiao Ye sighed, yes. Young Xie took out her communicator, typed a few words, and sent them out, smiling, good news. The opening time of the Holy Spirit secret realm has been brought forward. You can enter this afternoon. Go back and prepare. I'll take you to the entrance of the secret realm at 2 p.m. Xiao Ye's face lit up with joy, and he stood up to go back and prepare. Thank you, Sister Young Xie. On the other side, the supreme beings of the Hong family, Titan Academy, Yun family, City Lord's Mansion, and Chang family all received the news that the Holy Spirit secret realm had opened ahead of schedule. These families were all supreme families, and every year when the Holy Spirit secret realm opened, they had the qualification to enter and plunder resources. Each supreme family had 2 slots. The Chang family, which was the family of Vajra Supreme Chang'an, received the news and hurriedly called Xiao Ye, the president of the Kunpeng Academy Student Council, to ask him to prepare to enter the Holy Spirit secret realm at 2 p.m. At Titan Academy, Yang Junming, the son of Titan Supreme, who was originally a 10-star Grandmaster, stepped into the Grandmaster realm today. Titan Supreme also sent him to the Holy Spirit secret realm for training. The Yun family, also a supreme family, sent their young patriarch. The City Lord's Mansion sent the City Lord's daughter, a stunningly beautiful woman who had cultivated to the Grandmaster realm in human form and was still at the peak of the Grandmaster realm. The Hong family, a top-tier supreme family, had its patriarch find Hong Tao and ask him to send a Grandmaster realm cultivator to the Holy Spirit secret realm. Leaving his father's villa, Hong Tao felt bewildered. The Holy Spirit secret realm was a very special secret realm, controlled by the top-tier supreme Kunpeng Queen Young Xie. It contained many precious and rare resources and only opened once a year. Entry was only possible through a Supreme's recommendation, and each Supreme only had 2 recommendation slots per year. That meant they could only recommend 1 pair of Grandmaster realm contractors to enter. As far as he knew, the next opening was in March, but he hadn't expected it to open earlier. Fatty, good news. Hong Tao returned to his villa excitedly and shouted inside. Then, a large, overweight woman, weighing 300 pounds, appeared in his field of vision, his contractor wife. The fat woman grumbled, "What do you mean, fat woman? It sounds awful. Call me wife." Wife? Hong Tao exclaimed happily, "The Holy Spirit realm has opened. We can obtain life and destruction matter again to improve your weight." The fat woman's dramatic weight gain was a physical defect caused by a template issue. As her cultivation level increased, she would become even more obese. The potion, made using special methods with life and destruction matter, could slightly improve this defect. But even this tiny improvement was enough to make Hong Tao ecstatic. Family, who understands the pain of being crushed by a mountain every night. End of this chapter. Thank you so much for reading until the end. Don't forget to give it a like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription or donation encourages us to continue. Thank you all. See you in the next video.